For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Duluth FC Soccer here, courtesy of the Blue-Green Stream Team. This is Matt Johnson coming to you live from Public School Stadium here in Duluth, where the Blue-Greens are about to play their second home game in a row here during the early portion of the 2022 NPSL North Conference Division season here in the summer months here, although it doesn't feel much like summer right now. Temperatures today in the mid to upper 40s, maybe the low 50s. We've had some thunderstorm activity in the area as well. To keep an eye on that, of course, as the game moves on, because that's always kind of a subplot whenever the Blue-Greens play here at home. But I had the pleasure of being joined, as always, by UW Superior men's soccer coach Joe Mooney. And Coach Mooney, all weather issues aside, and the fact that it is a little bit of a cool evening here, pretty darn good start here for the Blue-Greens. 2 games up, 2 games down in the win column. A couple of shutouts as well, and 8 goals for. You can't really ask for much more than that from what we've seen from Duluth FC here through 2 games in 2022.
Matty, I'm trying to figure out what weather conditions. I see a little bit of sunshine coming through. I mean, we're in the positive digits here. Like, this is
it's above freezing. We're feeling pretty good.
Got shorts out there, man. Life's good.
Yeah, exactly. We actually had temperatures for our first home game, the game against Minneapolis City SC that you saw last Saturday here in Duluth. Conditions could have been much more perfect. Temperatures were in the mid to low 70s on that day, and a little bit of a breeze, but a lot of sunshine. Today we had some severe weather come through about 5 p.m. local time here, but they are predicting the scattered thunderstorms, so we'll see if that continues here as the evening moves along. We've got some weather, looks like that has moved past us now to our left from our vantage point here, but everything to the right-hand side from our vantage point here, which is the weather that is incoming, looks like it is pretty clear right now. So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be able to keep on going here without any breaks because of weather conditions. In the meantime, though, the Blue-Greens playing really good soccer right now. We'll go back and talk a little bit more about that game on Saturday. Coach Mooney, that 2-0 win over Minneapolis City SC, really a complete performance by the Blue-Greens. Came out, outshot Minneapolis City, the Crows 12-3 for the game, and were really never challenged in that game much by the Crows in that 2-0 shutout win.
Yeah. Talking to Coach Sean Morgan a little bit before the game, and I know he was obviously really happy with that performance. Just knowing Coach Morgan, some things he already wants to tighten up. You know, it's early in the season, and we talked to him a little bit about what he wanted to maybe see just differently coming into this one. And again, very good performance overall, but he felt like maybe they could tighten up a little bit defensively. He felt like they were a little bit slow to shift, as City had swung the ball or moved the ball from one side to the other. He felt like they were a little bit slow to shift defensively, and then felt like there were at times maybe some gaps defensively that just to try to maybe close up a little bit, protect the space in behind their lines a bit. And then he talked about really the first half, he felt like they weren't very dynamic up top offensively. And, when you think about some of the offensive weapons that they have, kind of throughout, I mean, really their entire, front three, really their front six, even if you include the midfield and how dynamic that midfield is, he felt like they could have put some more pressure on City early on, and I probably agree with him. He did mention things got better in the second half, just a lot more movement, but I think that was a big point for them here over the last couple of days in training was again, just trying to shift faster defensively and protect some of those spaces, and then just be more dynamic, see more rotation in the guys up top.
Recapping the scoring in that game against Minneapolis City SC right here at Public School Stadium on Saturday. Duluth FC scoring the first goal of the game in the 9th minute off of a Crows turnover. Felipe Oliveira scoring his second goal here of the summer campaign to give the Blue-Greens a 1-0 lead that they took into the intermission. And in the second half, as you mentioned, Coach, the ball movement got a lot faster. The opportunities became a little bit more fast and frequent, and it resulted in the 49th minute goal by Sam Thornton, who was in the starting lineup. We'll talk more about the starting lineup when we come back from our first break here. But Sam Thornton came in. He scored his first career goal as a Blue-Green in the 49th minute to make that a 2-0 final, and that really kind of did salt the game away because Minneapolis City really was not able to create anything the rest of the game.
Yeah, Matt, so if we kind of break that down half to half, I think if you go back and watch some of the play by Duluth in the first half, really where that goal came for Felipe was they did a really good job of pressing. They really did a good job of trying to funnel the play and make it predictable and get the ball into certain spaces, and then they were great at pouncing on City. And that's where that first goal came from, was from a turnover and going straight to goal, and they did a really nice job at transition there. And I gave a shout out to Felipe last game, and I'll say it again. He's really impressed me as somebody who, over the last couple of years, really, from last year to this year, has developed a lot to the point where, I think, again, he went from being a guy that was kind of, a little bit of a, he was having a hard time finding his way into even a squad last year, and now he's had 2 straight starts, and he's had, great performances in each one of them. And then we go to the second half, and like you said, Sam Thornton came into the game at that point, and I think really did change some things for Duluth. And we'll see him again, it sounds like, at the start tonight. And I'm excited to see how that front three gets a chance to work now, between Blake Perry, Sam Thornton, and then Peter over on the right. So they've slid him from the center forward spot out to the right. And so this will be the first time that trio has a chance to work together. And I think we're going to see a dynamic style of play tonight.
We'll talk more about that starting lineup for Duluth FC in our next segment. In the meantime, they're taking on Minnesota Twin Stars here today. Are the Blue Greens? Blue Greens, as we talked about, 2-0 so far in the NPSL North standing so far here in 2022. The Twin Stars at 1-1 so far in the NPSL North Division under Yusef Debarki, who has been their longtime head coach in Minneapolis Twin City metro area for the Twin Stars. They split their first two games here of 2022 following the Minneapolis City 2-0 in their season opener before downing lacrosse Eris 4-2 on Saturday. That game was played at Spring Lake Park High School in the Twin Cities metro area. Twin Stars got 2 goals from Mark Volkman in the 22nd and 29th minute, while also getting tallies from Abraham Kuyate and Pei Carlos Gabami in the 18th and 78th minutes, respectively. Hassan Kamara, meanwhile, got the start and goal for the Twin Stars, played all 90 minutes and posted the victory against Eris. So they come in at 1-1, and like we said, the Blue Greens have not seen them for a couple of years now as far as calendar years go. But should be an interesting matchup here tonight. Kareem Debarki, one of the better players in the NPSL North when Twin Stars, was still playing a regular every year schedule in the NPSL North. He's still with the squad now as they make their return to NPSL North action here for 2022, and he's a heck of a player. We'll keep an eye on him, of course, as the game moves on, Coach.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, you mentioned right at the start, Coach Debarki, really synonymous with Minnesota soccer. He's one of the best, and at the youth level and at the senior level here. Long-standing history of watching him do very well at multiple levels. And then you mentioned, obviously, Kareem, and again, one of the, I think, best players to come out of the Minnesota region, really, within the last decade or so. And he'll be a fun player to watch, and I think will give Duluth a little bit of trouble at times tonight. I think they'll see a little bit more dynamic movement from, the front three, front four guys from Twin Stars tonight than maybe what they saw last week. And there are a couple guys in this squad that, all they need is a glimpse, and they can punish him.
So that's the story here as we get ready to play the second home game of the 2022 NPSL North schedule here for Duluth FC. Duluth FC 2-0 on the season. Minnesota Twin Stars at 1-1. Should be a fun one here this evening. With that being the case, we'll take our first break here of the pregame and come back with more, including look at the starting lineup here tonight for Coach Sean Morgan and the Blue Greens. That's coming up right after this. This is Blue Green Soccer here, brought to you by the Duluth FC Stream Team.
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Matt Johnson and Joe Mooney back here at Public School Stadium in Duluth. Second home game of the 2022 NPSL North schedule here for Duluth FC. And as usual, we'll jump into the starting lineup for the Blue Greens. A couple of changes, Coach, from the last game against Minneapolis City SC as we jump into the starting lineup. Brendan Daly will not get the start in goal. Instead, it'll be Jesse Juarez, Jake Starling, and Santiago Arazo that will start in the back for Duluth FC in a 4-3-3. Number 2, there you go. Look at him, Jesse Juarez, the Augsburg University player. And then Jake Starling making his return here for Duluth FC, was on the bench last game, Coach, but wearing the captain's armband tonight, and he will get the start as usual at one of the outside back positions. Starting in the middle, defensively, Santiago Arazo, the Colombian central defender, had a nice game against Minneapolis City. Very active, good left foot on him. He'll get a start as well. Andreas Solares, meanwhile, number 6, will start at a holding midfield role. And I know you really liked the way that he played against the Crows on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go back, and obviously Jake Starling now tonight will get his first start, and obviously a long-time Blue-Green. We saw him a lot in the outside back position the last couple of years. I know for his college team, a lot of three-back play that he does. And so, a lot of times at the right center back. And so for him to float out wide over the last couple of years was good. But I think, to get him back home now in the center back, it would be fun to watch him play there. And then, you talked about Andre Solares and what an impact he's already had in the first 2 games. He'll be a fun one to watch tonight.
Kian Gantley, as you saw on your screen there, also getting a start today, as is Kostya Domoratsky, who has been playing very well in the center midfield role here through 2 games for Duluth FC, the Ukrainian center midfielder. Starting also Felipe Oliveira, the Brazilian number 14 for Duluth FC. You heard head coach Joe Mooney talking about him earlier. He played very well against Minneapolis City, and he's really come through 2 goals in 2 games so far for the Brazilian product.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about him in the pregame. I think we should take a second just to talk about Kostya. He's a guy that we haven't really mentioned a lot of, but I know that the coaching staff is really high on him. You talk to some of the players too; they've really been impressed with his play. He's got enough ability where he can show some flair, he can show some flash, but he's actually a very gritty player and he covers a lot of ground.
So that's the look in the midfield. And up top, we got the 3-man head monster, I guess you could say, Blake Perry, UW Superior product, led the nation in points and assists at the D3 level last year. He will start on one wing spot. Starting on the other wing spot will be Peter Oyatunji, the player who plays for the University of West Alabama down in Alabama, former school of former blue-green Liam Condon. He will start at a wing spot, and then starting in the middle, Sam Thornton, the big English center who had a beautiful goal that he scored against Minneapolis City in his first appearance as a blue-green. He'll get the start as a center target forward here for Duluth FC this evening, and starting in goal, getting his first start ever in a blue-greens uniform, Michael Garagie, the Irish goalkeeper. So it's a little bit of a different look as far as players in the starting lineup here for head coach Sean Morgan. As we get a look at the formation here, Coach Sam Thornton getting the start. He came off the bench against Minneapolis City. Blake Perry and Peter Oyatunji, as we said, going to be on the wings. Domoratsky, Oliveira, Solares, and Kian Gantley in the middle. In the midfield, those are the same 4 stars that we saw from before for Duluth FC. And there you get a look also at the bench here tonight. A couple of interesting names on there. Scott Wilson in the lineup. Brendan Daly, who started the first 2 games for Duluth FC. He will start on the bench here. Nate DeAndre Williams also in there. Keegan Chase to Aaron Pike. Paul Bobai, also a new addition to the team. He came in about 2 days ago. And then Rory Carlson, who actually started at a wing slot against Minneapolis City SC, also will start on the bench. So a little bit mixing and matching here by head coach Sean Morgan here as we head into this game.
Yeah, Matt, you talk about that front 3, and that's exactly what you want, is to have a good rotation, and so it'll be these 3 tonight, and I would suspect they may even change, by the next time these guys come out, to have that rotation, keep guys fresh, keep guys, just in scoring form. We talked to Sean Morgan before the game, and he made a comment about just how prolific that front 3 is, and he's right. I mean, kind of pick your poison. Any one of those 3 can have a day. Any one of those 3 can kind of score goals at will. And I think what we already started to see a little bit, even in this last game, was some of that chemistry starting to develop a little bit. And I think if that starts to really take hold, this could be a really formidable front 3. We talked about them going all the way to the back. You mentioned Michael Garrity getting his first start tonight. Excited to see how he does. And I think this is really good, a really good sign for Duluth that they've got the squad depth now at the goalkeeper position where, really, either one of these guys they feel confident with. I would suspect that, Brendan Daly will keep the starting position going forward. But I think it's a really heads-up play, from Coach Morgan to get his second guy some time tonight, just showcase his ability as well, keep him dialed in, and to really just kind of create the competition a little bit in that spot, I think is really healthy for a team early on in the summer like this.
Quick look at the standings here at the table as we go into game number 3 here. You see Duluth FC, the Blue Green, sitting at first place right now, the NPSL North with 2 wins, 6 points to their credit. Med City right now, of course, located in Rochester with a win and a draw so far. Twin Stars and Minneapolis City right now tied for 3rd. They're both 1-0, I guess, if you do the American style of table. But if you go wins, draws, and losses, it's 1 up and 1 down as far as wins and losses for the Twin Stars and Minneapolis City. So they both sit on 3 points, as does Joy AC, by the way. Joy, the team that Duluth FC beat 6-0 in their opener, they have 3 points. So they're bunched up right now, 3 teams tied for 3rd place. Then you have Sioux Falls with 2 points right now on 2 draws. The Dakota Fusion with a draw and a loss. They have 1 point, in Eris so far 0 for 2. As far as points go, no points for Lacrosse Eris here so far through 2 games. So that gives you a quick look at where the 2 teams are at, where the standings stand, and the starting lineup here, of course, tonight for the Blue Greens. So it should be a fun game, taking on a team, like I said, that the Blue Greens have not seen in a couple of years in Minnesota Twin Stars. So looking forward to an entertaining game here tonight. We hope that you enjoy the broadcast as well. In the meantime, we will take an extended audio break, come back with the introduction of the 2 teams, courtesy of our public address announcer, Pat Storner, and then we'll come back with the opening kickoff of this NPSL North contest between Duluth FC and Minnesota Twin Stars. That's coming up right after this. This is Blue Green Soccer, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Kicks are sponsored. Everything's got.
For your heart. For your hope. For your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Public School Stadium for Game 2 of our home games, featuring Minnesota Twin Stars versus your Duluth FC Blue Greens. Let's introduce the teams for tonight's matchup. The starting 11 for Minnesota Twin Stars. 00 Hassan Kamara. Number 2 Tayeb Ben Jafar. Number 4 Uzman Cisse. Number 5 Alex Lynch. Number 6 Jafar Abdul Rahman. Number 7 Sadiq Jabate. Number 8 Cullen McSweeney. Number 10 Kareem Peterson Dabarki. Number 16 Mark Bokin. Number 17 Sadra Golzarian. Number 22 Eric Rosas. And coaching the Twin Stars, Youssef Dabarki.
Let's go, Jake!
And now the starting 11 for the Duluth FC Blue Greens. Number 2, Jess Juarez. Number 3, Jake Starling. Number 4, Santiago Arazo. Number 6, Andre Solares. Number 8, Kian Gantley. Number 10, Kostya Domoratsky. Number 14, Felipe Oliveira. Number 18, Blake Perry. Number 20, Peter Oyetunji. Number 23, Sam Thornton. And starting in goal tonight, Michael Garagie. Coaching Duluth FC is Sean Morgan. Your officials for the evening tonight include Barrett Johnson, Reed Smith, Hugo Roos, and Jeremy Euchre. Please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stars and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched. Were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the first leaping gave move through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
So the last anthem has been played. The two teams have been introduced, courtesy of our public address announcer, Pat Sterner. And we are just about ready to get this contest underway. This NPSL North clash between Minnesota Twin Stars and the homestanding Duluth FC Blue Greens. Matt Johnson alongside head coach, or UW Superior coach anyway, Joe Mooney here. As the Blue Greens looking to go 2-0 here at home for 2022, looking to go 3-0 overall and maintain their first place standing in the NPSL North. Quick reminder, everyone, St. Luke's is proud to sponsor Duluth FC. When it comes to injury prevention, treatment, and recovery, their great orthopedics and sports medicine team has you covered. Learn more at slhduluth.com/ortho. Again, that's slhduluth.com/ortho. Also, a quick reminder, our next broadcast of Duluth FC soccer will come up a week from this coming Saturday at home, taking on Lacrosse Eris for the first of 2 meetings against Eris this season. That'll be at 7 p.m. So that's May 28th, by the way, so 10 days from tonight. There you see it on the bottom of your screen as Duluth FC continues on here in the 2022 campaign. Coach, we're just about 2 or 3 moments away from the opening kick here, and what are you expecting here as we get this first 45 minutes underway here between Twin Stars and Duluth FC?
Matt, I think it'll be a little bit of a different kind of start than what we saw on Saturday. I think there will be a little bit more of a kind of a objective of trying to maybe feel each other out, but not in a pragmatic way like we saw on Saturday where both teams just kind of sat in and tried to get a little bit of the ball. I think we'll see both teams maybe take some early shots, see if they can't get the back line turned over a little bit, and I think it'll be a little bit more of an open style of play here from the start.
Duluth FC wearing their usual home greens here so far. They've worn these green jerseys, for all 3 games here so far in the 2022 campaign. Meanwhile, Twin Stars will be wearing the white jerseys with the gray shorts. They'll be going from left to right here in the opening half of play. Again, thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday evening. The skies remain a little bit on the overcast side, but not too bad. There's some blue sky over there, Coach. And like I said, hopefully the rain will hold off here. Scattered showers expected in the area here this evening. A couple of interesting notes here, a couple of subplots. We talk about that a lot on our broadcast, Coach. This marks the return of one of the former Blue Greens, Ivan Adika, who's actually on the bench tonight for head coach Yusef Darbarki. He's a Blue Green that goes back quite a few years with the Blue Green program. He knows Duluth FC well, and it's good to see him back, even if it is in the opposing jerseys here this evening. So we'll see if Ivan can get into this game as the day goes on here. First meeting between these two, like I said, in a couple of calendar years here. So this will be an interesting contest, to say the least. Head coach Sean Morgan kind of told you and I before the game, this is kind of a great unknown here, actually, for Duluth FC. Not sure what to expect. Not a lot of scouting reports either way between these two teams. So we'll see how things go. Looks like Duluth FC will kick off first. That's Sam Thornton, by the way, the native of Rotherham, England, that will kick off. Had a goal against Minneapolis City on Saturday, and he will kick things off here in just a moment as we await the whistle from our center referee here tonight, Hugo Roos.
There's another subplot right there.
There's another subplot. I'll let you touch on that one. I don't want to go too far.
Former center back for UW Superior, and after his playing days with us, changed over and became, well, he's been a referee for a long time, but really kind of took his professional level from playing to officiating and has done a good job as he's gotten in the ranks here.
It's interesting, too, because he actually started out as a side ref. This is the first time I've ever, I think, done a game where he's been the center ref. So I didn't get a chance to catch up with Hugo before the game, but maybe I'll do so afterward. As, like I said, we are kicking off here. This is Felipe Oliveira for Duluth FC, and we're going to have a whistle right off the bat. And it looks like it'll be a free kick here coming up for Twin Stars. Twin Stars, as I mentioned, in the open as well, 1-1 on the season. A loss to Minneapolis City SC and a win over Lacrosse Eris. To their credit here so far, and they'll get the first free kick here just about 30, 40 seconds into this opening half here from Public School Stadium in Duluth. And off the kick, that is the 6'2" Peter Oyentunji. We saw that length play a big role against Minneapolis City on Saturday, Coach, and he stepped in there and also got a piece of that free kick as well. He's got good leaping ability on top of that 6'2" frame that he has, so he's been a difference maker so far defensively and offensively. Played well in the wing in that game. Playing more traditional wing in this game as Sam Thornton gets the start after coming off the bench, like I said, against Minneapolis City on Saturday. In the meantime, this is Kareem Darbarki, who we also talked about in the open, on the left foot, playing it off in the space on the overlap. Eric Rosas trying to cross it in. We'll play it off of Jesse Juarez, and we'll have a throw coming up on the far side now. Also be interesting to see how Michael Garagie does in his first start in the goal here for Duluth FC. First 2 games, of course, manned by the always reliable Brendan Dolly. And Dolly right now is on the bench. And we will have a goal kick here coming up for Duluth FC. Just about 2 minutes into this opening half, Coach. And a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a feeling out process, I think, between the two teams here in the early going. As Andreas Solaris now taking it in deep. Pressure being put on by Sadiq Jabate. And now a ball up the far side. That's going to be headed back now by Twin Stars toward the midfield stripe. There's Darbarki getting his head to it. Very silky touch for Kareem Darbarki. We saw that throughout his early career in a Twin Stars jersey. Missed it the last couple of years, of course.
Matt, Sam Thornton, really high IQ with him. Expect him to do some things that maybe you don't expect.
There's Sam Thornton now trying to cross one in. It'll go off the back of a Twin Stars defender, and we'll have our first corner kick here coming up for Duluth FC. Approaching 3 minutes in, and now it'll be Blake Perry, another player you're intimately familiar with, going over to that far side, and he will take this corner kick here for Duluth FC. Had 20 assists during the 2021 campaign for your Yellow Jackets, and now he will take this one here. Bending ball coming in now. Through the middle, going up, and that one being headed away, maybe punched away that time. Hassan Kamara getting up there, the starting keeper for Twin Stars. A couple players at the back post there. Santiago Razo was amongst them, and now I think it'll be a throw here for the Blue Greens.
Yeah, Matt, you see just kind of the velocity that Perry puts on the ball there as he crosses it in. The ball has a lot of bend, a lot of whip to it, and it's hard for a goalkeeper or defender to deal with.
It really is very difficult. As here's Kian Gantley now getting his first touch, throwing it in. Now here's Domaratsky in the corner. He's got 3 players around him. Goes to Domaratsky, and now it'll just be cleared over the side. That one's going to deflect off of the leg of Blake Perry. So we'll have a throw coming up. That was Alex Lynch on the touch there for Twin Stars, and we'll have a toss coming up now. Taya Ben Jaffer will take the throw here. As the throw comes in, Solaris trying to rise up for it. There's Tabarki now heading it forward. Flipped over the top now. Here's Jabate, and that one will make its way all the way into blue-green territory on the edge of the 18. And there's Garagie getting his first touch. The Irish keeper here for Duluth FC. Plays his college soccer for Tennessee Wesleyan, by the way, an AIA school. And now here comes Duluth FC up the far side. This is Peter Oyentunji on the right foot. Flicking it on the outside, Felipe Oliveira. Being defended by Jafar Abdul Rahman on the outside, and it'll go out of play, and they're going to give the throw here to the Blue Greens.
Matt, we talked about that on Saturday night, too, how Felipe was willing to get forward and break some of those lines. And there you see him again making the overlap in the space.
Juarez placing a ball in front. Here's Blake Perry now getting a step in the 18, trying to cross it in through the middle. That one's going to be headed away. Now on the end line, and he'll get it into the 6. He was looking, I think, for Thornton, and it's going to go over the end line. They're going to give Duluth FC another corner kick. This one will be taken by the Ukrainian Kosta Domaratsky.
Matt, I don't know if Perry expected that ball to come all the way through there. I would have maybe expected him to take that first time. Obviously took a settling touch, and in the end did well enough to get a corner out of it.
Here's Domaratsky now. He's measuring it here. Curling the ball inside. That one going to be headed away. There's Jake Starling, who's making his season debut here for Duluth FC this evening. He's been the captain for the team the last 2 years as the native of Dade City, Florida. And we'll have a throw coming up here. It looks like it will be Kian Gantley that will take the throw. Gantley trying to play it through for Domaratsky. It goes out of play. We'll have another throw here coming up for Duluth FC. Gantley now for the Blue Greens. In for Oliveira, trying to spin around the defender. And this one's going to go out over the end line. And are they going to give this a goal kick now? It looks like they are, as everyone's making their respective runs back toward midfield here. So we'll have a free kick here coming up. Hassan Kamara will start up right off the get, and he'll give it now for Alex Lynch to the outside. Ben Jaffer had it at his foot. Now it's Lynch, and Thornton got a piece of that one, so it'll deflect out of play, and we'll have a throw here coming up. Ben Jaffer's throw. Headed back and forth, hasn't been settled as of yet. Colin McSweeney now has it at his foot. He'll play it all the way back for Lynch. We'll go back to the top of his own 18. This is Kamara. Duluth FC trying to put some pressure on the ball here. To the outside, Ben Jaffer on the right foot. Angling ball forward. Intercepted easily that time by the left foot of Santiago Razo, and this will be played over now. And out off of Colin McSweeney. It'll be a throw here coming up for Duluth FC. And I guess it should not be any surprise. Both teams, like I said, playing a little bit cautiously at the start here, Coach. Just trying to figure out how each team is going to play here, how the opposition is going to play this evening. And that's what happens when you have a couple teams that aren't necessarily very familiar with one another.
Matt, a good amount of speed on both sides up top. Each team in their front three, a lot of speed there, and a lot of closing power. And I think you'll see both teams try to press a little bit here in the early going. You've seen it already.
Here's Kian Gantley on the left foot. Out now, here's Jake Starling. Starling for Duluth FC. Sending it to the far side. Looking for the on-running Jesse Juarez, and it'll go out of play. Starling, by the way, who led Florida Southern in his last season. as a mock in minutes played. Had over 1,400 minutes played this season for Florida Southern in his senior campaign. He also has his master's degree, by the way. I had a chance to catch up with him when he first came to town, and we talked a little bit about that. So, true student athlete. Now he's got his master's degree, and as he says, he's looking for a big boy job now. In the meantime, we have a free kick here coming up for Twin Stars in the 8th minute here. As this one is given a ride forward. Arazo, using that 6'1" frame to get ahead to it. Now will be settled in midfield. Almost settled in midfield, I should say. Now it's DeBarkey with it. Grim DeBarkey trying to step through a couple different players. And we're going to have a violation against number 10 in white here. So it'll be a free kick coming up for Duluth FC in the 9th minute now. And we'll see who takes the free kick. It'll be Starling. He'll play it quickly. On a square ball to the outside. Here's Arazo with it. They have a Bogota and Colombia. Santiago Arazo. With Blake Perry, now Arazo again. And now another throw here coming up for Duluth FC.
Matt, we've seen the fullbacks get a little bit more involved here early on than we did, I think, last week. There you saw Kian Gantley making the overlap. Last week it seemed like it was kind of like it really kind of took a majority of the first half to get the guys to make those overlaps. And once they did, I think they got a little bit more involved, but it was good to see that early on here in the game tonight.
Here's Oyentunji coming back now for Duluth FC. Playing it for Oliveira, now back for Oyentunji. Peter Oyentunji trying to make a way through a couple of defenders. Twin Stars able to stand him up, and they'll turn it over, and now it'll be a throw coming up for Twin Stars on the far side. Being coached by Yosef DeBarkey, who has been coaching in Minnesota for I don't know how many decades now. I remember when I played, he was still coaching. But yeah, he's been involved with Minnesota soccer for, I'm not sure, like I said, how long. It's been a very long time. He's a very prominent name in the Minnesota soccer community. In the meantime, now here's a turnover. And after turnover, Perry now trying to get it back for Gantley into the 18, lost the handle on it. And now Twin Stars will turn it over and they'll play it forward. That's Cedric Golzarian playing it through. I think he was looking for a Jabate on that one, but found its way back for Garagie, and now he'll give it off for Arazo. Solaris on the right foot. To the outside and just overhit it a little bit. Overcooked it looking for Juarez. White Reed just hit the ball a little bit too heavily. But Juarez had some space to use on that far side. Just the ball was a little bit off. And a throw now for Twin Stars, and now this one will be volleyed out. Off the throw by Solaris again on that far side. Now here's Juarez, and it'll go out of play, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called against Mark Boquin. He's a nifty little player. He's been around for a few years, coach. Scored 2 goals against La Crosse Harris on Saturday. We'll keep an eye on him as the game moves on. And he's been a long-time Twin Stars stalwart as well.
Yeah, a good start to his summer already.
As Arazo now coming forward. Perry now dropping from his outside wing position to take that pass near midfield. Now here's Gantley with it. Back for Arazo. Touch it to the far side. And like you said, Duluth FC involving the fullbacks a little bit more, Coach. Coach Sean Morgan playing a 4-3-3 here today. Angling ball forward. Now here's Domorotsky with it. Kostya Domorotsky. Gantley now. Trying to play it through. He hits the deck. We play on. Now DeBarkey. Playing it into space. Nice tackle by Arazo. Taking that ball away from Tayyip Ben Jaffer, who was coming up, trying to make an overlapping run, and a nice job, like I said, defensively by the Colombian Arazo to come over and slide that one away. As a former defender myself, I can appreciate those kind of reads. And we're going to have a foul called. Again, on Twin Stars here, it'll be a free kick.
Sponsored by Gitche Gumi Soccer Club.
Solaris playing it quickly. Here's Oliveira. Felipe Oliveira for Duluth FC to the outside. Oyentunji. Flag stays down as he's on the edge of the 18. Takes it on the right foot. Takes it one more step. Now tries to go back through the middle. Here's Oliveira trying to step through. He'll turn and try to get a shot away, and that one will deflect out, I think. It'll be a corner kick, and it will be. Felipe Oliveira trying to make a bid for his 3rd goal of the summer already, Coach. Gets the corner kick here for Duluth FC, their 3rd of the game, as we're about to enter the 13th minute here.
Man, I think what we've seen over the last couple of minutes, maybe the last just couple of sequences here, has been a lot more dynamic play from Duluth up top. You see Blake Perry dropping into spaces, you see Owatunji dropping into spaces, and you see the midfielders overlap a little bit. I think that's exactly what Sean Morgan was talking about, trying to get those players just a bit more dynamic and see some interchange within.
Domorotsky will take this corner kick. Bends it through the middle, and that one will be headed wide by Owatunji. Actually beat Kamara to the ball on that one, but headed just wide of that far post, and we will have a goal kick here coming up. 3 corner kicks away for Duluth FC. Had a couple of good looks, but nothing in the back of the net as of yet. We will have a goal kick here coming up for Twin Stars. And off the restart, ball up the near side and for Ben Joffer, and again, overhitting the pass a little bit.
And Matt, there you saw again as Duluth had set up, so they let him play out of the back, they let him play out of the 18, but they had a high block set. I mean, so their line of confrontation is only about 25 yards out. So they're kind of inviting those first 25 yards, but I think as soon as Twin Stars hit that line, you'll see that press really take hold.
And it'll be a throw now coming up. Kian Gantley, the Irish outside midfielder here for Duluth FC, who's played very well here so far. Early on in 2022, gives it now off the throw. Here's Blake Perry. Perry now trying to play it back for Sam Thornton, has it touched around his foot, and it'll go out of play. Off the right boot of Karim Darbarki. One of the more technically gifted players in the NPSL North is Karim Darbarki.
Yeah, and that's one thing for Duluth to be aware of too is, you know, as the game wears on here, not to give up any kind of set pieces in the last 25, 30 yards, because he's a guy that can hit a set piece very well and really be dangerous.
Well, we might have our first card here of the game. And there it is. It's going to be awarded to number 22, Eric Rosas. Came in from behind on Peter Owatunji, and you can see that one coming a little bit there, Coach.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm old school. I like to see good, hard challenges always, you know. But anytime you see now, when you see studs showing like that, and it comes up higher than the ball at all, it's always going to be called. It's always going to be a card.
Yep, it's on Eric Rosas. Like I said, he gets the first card of the game in the 15th minute, and it'll be a free kick here coming up. Jesse Juarez. Osberg University Augie will take it. He plays it back now for Jake Starling. Kian Gantley now on the left foot. Gantley trying to bend it over the top. Nobody was making a run in the green shirt, and then it'll bounce in and an easy grab off the turf here for Hassan Kamara.
Yeah, Matt, you can see there just, again, so the forwards become a little bit more dynamic, and both forwards between Sam Thornton and Blake Perry have both checked back into the line there, and Kian had picked his head up.
Here's a crossing attempt now by Oliveira. Grabbed off the turf here, and it'll be held on to now by Kamara. He's looking for Blake Perry. Let's make a run to the 6. Now ball up on the near side this time. Coming back, that's Golzarian getting it. And now McSweeney has it taken off of his foot by Domorotsky, at least momentarily, and out to the outside. Jesse Juarez, Rosas, who just got the yellow card a moment ago. And now a ball forward for Jabate. Sadiq Jabate trying to take it to the outside. Nice job by Jake Starling coming over on the weak side. Yeah. Very well done there by the native of Florida. And now here's the ball forward looking for Sam Thornton. Thornton with Perry with him. Plays the ball into space. Headed up in the air. Alex Lynch getting his head to it. For Twin Stars. And now it'll be cleared back toward midfield where it's picked up here by Mark Boquin.
Boy, Matt, you couldn't tell that Jake Starling had missed any kind of time. Like, he looks really sharp tonight. He's had a few nice plays already. Quick to the ball. All of his decisions have been spot on. He's played a couple nice balls out of the back. Then you see a tackle like that, and you think, yeah, he's pretty dialed in, right?
Yeah, he's very dialed in right now. Like I said, led Florida Southern in minutes played this year, and you can see why. In his senior season, as Blake Perry now in the overlap for Kian Gantley. Gantley trying to come over, and there's Lynch taking no chances at all. Plays it off into the stands.
Keeping those ball kids busy tonight. Huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Another throw here coming up for Duluth FC, but I agree with you, Coach. The passing has been much more dynamic. There's been better movement here so far than what we saw in the early going against Minneapolis City. As Domorotsky now will change it all the way to the far side, and he mishit that ball. Played right in between or behind Andreas Solar, so I think he was who he was trying to get that ball to.
Matt, that was one of the other things that Sean Morgan had mentioned before the game, was that he wanted to see a bit better passing, switching of the ball, right? And so you can see it there. I mean, obviously it's a mishit kick, but it just, when they're looking to switch the ball, it looks a bit passive still, right? Yeah. And I think that's something that'll be a continued point of emphasis as the game goes on. When they're looking to switch, you're trying to build numbers on the other side and try to catch the other team numbers down. And the slower you are, the more time you give the team to switch, right, or to shift. And so, I mean, really the point is, if you're looking to make that that switch of play, you want to do it as few touches as possible and as quickly as possible.
Domorotsky now will play it back on the support ball. Here's Arazo. Santiago Arazo with the left foot will go to the far side. Now here's Jake Starling. Starling for Duluth FC. Bending a ball forward. Taking a heavy hit there was Felipe Oliveira. We play on now it's Sam Thornton. Thornton to the outside. Play goes up. Jesse Juarez was a half step off, and we'll have a free kick. And Coach, I know that one.
that was one that Juarez struggled with last week. We brought this up on the broadcast that when you're outside back is the guy who's offside. Again, it's just a bit too ambitious for him. I think he had 2 or 3 offside calls on Saturday.
He did, yeah.
And already, in the 18th minute, he's got one here. So just need to pull back on the reins a little bit for your fullback. And again,
it's just timing the run, yeah.
Yeah, you appreciate the fact that he's getting forward, right? Like, again, that's all part of it. You saw the quick switch that led to a good opportunity there. But just to pull back on those reins a little bit and time your run.
After the restart, here's Perry now tight roping the sideline, touching it in. That's Oliveira trying to get there for the Blue Greens. Now headed forward by Solaris. Thornton had it momentarily. Now it's Oliveira again.
And there you see Blake Perry's awareness and what he does so well. And he had a couple of these on Saturday night as well, where he's going full steam into the sideline. And to be able to pick his head up and actually find a pass, he's not just trying to save the ball, but he's actually able to turn it and actually get it into positive space.
Here's Kian Gantley now. Touch a little bit off with the left foot.
Yeah, you see one of those where he just can't decide, is he going to pass it, is he going to try to dribble it, and I think he got just caught in between that decision.
Now a 1-2 combination by Twin Stars coming through, and that'll be cleared away by Jake Starling.
Yep, guess who breaks up that play,
yeah.
Right? Right on cue, Jake Starling does it.
He's kind of the full definition and the perfect definition of a steady Eddie back there.
Yeah.
Has been throughout his Blue Greens career. As a throw comes in now, Taya Benjaffer on the throw, trying to flick it over the top for Darbarki. And now here's Jake Starling. Starling with the left foot. Clears it. Well done that time by Starling to find Kostya Domorotsky, but then his return ball to the outside for Gantley gets intercepted. That was Cedric Galzarian who got a foot to it. Now Darbarki into the middle. Well, turning and trying to get a shot away. Having it deflected away was Jabate. Abdul Rahman had a look at it. And nice job.
A great slide challenge there.
That's really the first time we had seen an offensive thrust there by Minnesota Twin Stars. Meanwhile, Oyen Tunji, he'll play it to the far side now, looking for Juarez. And just a little bit behind the play there.
And if Tunji had just maybe picked his head up a second earlier, he had Blake Perry in a good bit of space there. And that's a ball that you maybe expect again as we get deeper into the summer for him to kind of automatically think that that run is going to be there.
Twin Stars now playing across the field from me and Coach Mooney's broadcast position here at Public School Stadium. In the meantime, it's Solaris now on the right foot. Flipping it over the top, looking for Sam Thornton. Off of his line, sliding to the edge of his 18, and able to smother that one as Hassan Kamara.
And I like this approach here over the last couple of minutes, Matt. They've got a couple balls in behind the back line now. They've been able to turn Twin Stars' back line over and get them facing their own goal a little bit. When you do that, then a lot of times that'll open up space in the midfield. So I would expect maybe Duluth here to have a little bit more possession over the next few minutes as they've gotten Twin Stars to back off a bit.
Yeah, it was very tight in the beginning of the game. Twin Stars was playing a very high back line. They were really bunching it up, and they're doing it again here. So putting some pressure on, trying to cut down the amount of space that the Blue Greens have.
But if they keep playing balls in behind like that, Matt, eventually they're going to have to, kind of pick their poison. Are they going to start to drop off, or are they going to give to lose some of those chances? My suspicion is they're going to have to drop off a little bit. And again, once that happens, you'll see a little bit more, I think, possession kind of take hold in the midfield.
Looks like there must have been an offside, perhaps, or maybe a foul here called against Twin Stars. So restart here for Duluth FC. Jake Starling now on the far side. He'll draw a throw here. He's looking for Juarez on that ball to the far side. And now Starling, who famously has a very big throw in, hasn't taken a big one as of yet here tonight, but he can really wing it from that right outside back position. Now here's the ball in the space. Domorotsky looking for Oyen Tunji coming off of his line is Kamara, able to smother it enough to draw a throw, but that could have been dangerous right there if Oyen Tunji would have been able to touch that over the Twin Stars keeper. As it is, it'll be a throw now, near side. Gantley taking his time, coming over to take it. The Irish outside midfielder here for Duluth FC.
Yeah, man, I think it was Sam Thornton who had just slid offside there on that play. So it was good that he had sort of tracked back central then and let Otunji take over because he was in an onside position to keep that play going.
Now here's Starling. On the outside now, Arazo with it. Santiago Arazo. Flipping it over the top. That one headed away by Rosas. Eric Rosas, who's playing on a yellow card, the only yellow we've had so far here through 23 minutes about of gameplay. And now we're going to have a whistle and a foul called here against the Blue Greens. It'll be a free kick.
Yeah, I think Twin Stars are probably asking for a card there. And to be honest, they probably could have gotten one just for a tactical foul there. Twin Stars would have had numbers going forward, and just to tug the shoulder back and hold them up. Again, was a tactical move, and I can't see Hugo Roos allowing too many more of those to go on before he'll put a stop to it with a card.
Free kick here coming up. Karim Darbarki will take it here. He'll go along with it, and Garagie able to make it an easy grab of it in the middle of his own 18. One of the things that Duluth FC has really done a good job of this summer so far, through 2+ games, coach, is limit the opposition's chances offensively. Only 3 shots against the Crows given up. Here's Thornton now giving it up. Here's a shot. They score! Blake Perry on the goal, his 3rd, the assist to Sam Thornton. And it is a 1-0 lead here in the 24th minute.
Matt, there's a lot to talk about in that play. So, first of all, credit to Sam Thornton for holding up the play there. He had kind of run out of options. You just see the patience of an experienced player like that to hold that up, find Blake Perry. And then Perry, as he takes the ball across, I think everybody in the stadium thought he was going to try to curl that one in to the far side, and instead just clipped it back, just a screamer on the ground to the near post, and beat the goalkeeper kind of leaning the wrong way.
Perfectly placed. Well played that time by the duo.
But Matt, the other thing I want to go back to is actually, if you think about it, Gary on the ball out. Okay, so you saw some of his distribution ability. So he picks his head up, he nails a ball 40 yards, just clips one into Jesse Juarez out there, beats that first line of defense, and from there it was a quick ball up from Juarez up to Sam Thornton. So really, within a matter of just 3 passes, that ball is ending up on Blake Perry in the back of the net.
You could actually give 2 assists on that one. 1 to Thornton, 1 to Jesse Juarez. And even if you wanted to give a 3rd one, you could probably give it to Michael Garagie in the back.
I think you have to. I mean, you think about it again, just for him to pick his head up and to have the confidence to clip that ball over the first line of defense, find a wide open Juarez, and to be able to hit him on stride like that, it takes a lot of skill to be able to do that, and it just shows some prowess on the goalkeeper's part. So,
yep, now Karim Darbarki has been given a yellow card here by center referee Hugo Roos, and I think that might be just as much for complaining and unsportsmanship behavior, maybe. Unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, Matt, I guess I wasn't, I didn't see what happened. I was too busy talking.
Well, there's a fair
go figure.
That's our job up here, coach. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Well, there's a lot of talk here now. Sam Thornton coming over to Karim Darbarki, and they're still talking out whatever it was. I didn't really see much of it either. I was too busy looking at the
He gave one to
scoring.
Solaris there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give one to Andreas Solaris.
Perhaps those two will sit down later at Yellow Bike and talk it out.
Pat Sterner, he's enthusiastic, I will say, our public address announcer. Hoping that Solaris and Darbarki can maybe have a cup of coffee and work out their differences. Since they both,
resolution,
peaceful resolution to whatever the issue was. Sam Thornton tried to play peacemaker there a bit, so we'll have a free kick now to the far side. I think sometimes people are amazed, or would be amazed, how much actual chatter goes on the field. I know you're not, and neither am I, but I think the average viewer at home would be kind of interested to find out just how much discussion is going on. And of course, most of these players are international players as well, so a lot of these guys speaking several languages, and you never know what they might be talking about out there.
Boy, Matt, Sam Thornton is really fun to watch. Even just, off the ball, his stride, he's so powerful. And you can just see with every step he took, he closed that space down. He's not going to let the back line get any free balls out tonight.
Ben Joffer now with the right foot trying to play it into space. It was Usman Cisse who had a momentary. Now Duluth FC with Solaris.
There again, just a great job from Duluth to counter press that. I mean, they really do just swarm around the ball. You've got some very active players up top, and they're just as much fun to watch off the ball as they are on it.
Well, and the passing has been very good so far here, Coach, the 2 games that we watched, especially coming out of the back. It's one of the better, I think, possession teams Duluth FC has had in recent years, and you can really see it when they get their possession game going. They can really pass it around the opposition, create a lot of mismatches, switch it from side to side, and create favorable matchups all over the field.
Absolutely. And there's a good example of that counter press again. So Duluth had lost the ball high, and it's actually Jesse Juarez, your fullback, who's the highest man on the field. And I'd love to see that from Sean Morgan's team. The freedom to let anybody go on and press there.
Oliveira coming in, trying to make a move around Kamara, and those long arms able to keep that ball from going to the back of the net. Beautiful 1-2 passing play again, though.
Yeah, Duluth looked really good there. And some credit to Kamara there. He did everything he needed to do to actually break that play up. It was the right touch from Oliveira, but Kamara kind of forced it into that big touch. And then, man, I didn't expect him to get that arm out there. But boy, it just kind of seemed to keep extending, didn't it? Just to get his paw on top of the ball.
It did, yeah. And otherwise it's 2-0 right now. So that's a big play. Circle that one in the game for Hassan Kamara.
Matt, once again, it's Felipe Oliveira breaking lines, becoming the first man forward, or the highest man forward, and getting another chance on goal there.
Here's Orazo now with the left foot playing it forward. Domoratsky, Solaris coming through from his holding midfield role, now trying to clip it over the top, just a little bit off the mark. I think he was expecting Perry to go forward with that one. And
I think Perry
Blake went more lateral,
I think he had noticed that he would have been just offside. He just kind of mistimed his run there.
This is Alex Lynch now on the right foot here for Twin Stars. He'll bump it very long. Looking for Boquin up on the far side. Mark Boquin, diminutive outside midfielder here for Twin Stars. Now he'll play it back in the middle. Jafar Abdul Rahman on the right foot. Plays it to the outside.
Matt, I think that's going to be a fun matchup to watch here tonight between Boquin and Juarez. You've got two very scrappy, technical players, both very quick players, and I think that's going to be one just to kind of keep our eyes on.
We play on the 29th minute here. We'll have a throw here coming up. It'll be taken now by Tayyab Ben Jaffer. In for Darbarki, who has a yellow card in this game. Oyen Tunji coming all the way back, now trying to body off. Ben Jaffer does a nice job of taking the ball off of his foot without committing the foul. Now Abdul Rahman. Trying to make a couple of steps around now. Was Jabate, and now a shot comes in. And the first save of the game made by Michael Garagie. That's the first time that he's seen a shot in this game. It comes in the 30th minute. Duluth FC leads at 1-0. If you're just joining us, Blake Perry, his third goal of the season. The assist, Sam important. Jesse Juarez also involved in that play, as was starting keeper Michael Garagie. Actually, it was a four-way passing play that ended up in the goal. And it was really a nice job by Duluth FC to get up, take advantage of some slow rotation defensively by Twin Stars and getting that goal. In the meantime, this is Karim Darbarki. Left-footed ball in the space. That's a turnover. Picking up now is Blake Perry. Perry on the left foot. Domoratsky now in the middle. He'll line it up, takes a shot, and that one will skip wide of Hassan Kamara's goal. But those are those circumstances where Duluth FC looked really good. They took advantage of a couple of turnovers by the Crows of Minneapolis City on Saturday, and we just about saw them take advantage of that one as well, Coach. Very opportunistic as well as Duluth FC when they get the opportunity, especially with those front three.
Yeah, and I know Costa can hit that ball from range there. I would have, and I'm never going to, fault somebody for taking a shot from range, but I would have liked to see that one maybe develop a little bit more. They had numbers going forward, and I think as Perry kind of clipped that ball off, played it central to Costa, I think that there were options for him to play into a, sort of a mismatch going forward.
We'll have a throw down coming up near side for Twin Stars, 31st minute. Reminder at halftime, by the way, we'll have a conversation with Duluth FC assistant coach Craig Chudley. He'll come up here and share his thoughts on the opening 45 minutes. Interesting to hear what Coach Chudley has to say. And a window into what Duluth FC feels about that, what the coaching staff at least feels about that first half that has still about 15 minutes left in it. In the meantime, here's the ball now near side. This is Cedric Galzarian.
Got a chance to catch up with Craig Chudley the other night. He's heading out to Greensboro for grad school in sports psychology. Really happy for him. Great program. What a great master's program and topic to be going into. I think that's a field that's really going to grow here over the next 5 to 10 years, Matt. So really excited for him. We're sad to lose him here in the Twin Ports.
Right, yeah.
Good for you, Chuds. Yeah, we're excited for you, buddy.
Yeah, I know getting Coach Chud's a very, very good guy. If you get a chance to sit down and have a few adult beverages with him, a few sudsy ones, he'll sit there and chat with you for a while. Just buy McGinnis and he'll be your best friend. In the meantime, Duluth FC coming forward. This is Oyen Tunji.
I think Guinness is his best friend,
yeah.
But you'll be his second best friend.
You'll have his second best friend, yeah. Ball into space. Jabate now on the outside. And he'll take the shot, and that smothering that one will be Michael Garagie. He'll roll it now. Near side, Arazo.
Man, I know neither one of the shots on goal here was really troubled Garagie, but one of the things I really like about watching him play, watch how quick his footwork is. You know, he's not the biggest goalkeeper, so he has to make up with that, with some of that explosive power. He's got to make up with it with just kind of anticipating and reading the play. And if you watch his footwork, he's always got his body behind the ball. He's a fun netminder to watch.
He definitely is. He's a guy that, you know, with Brendan Daly, who has, like I said, for the most part been the starting keeper and played the vast majority of the minutes over the last 2 years. It's easy for a backup keeper like Garagie maybe to, you know, fall in the doldrums a little bit back there. But he's looked very sharp here so far, and you know, those 2 saves, like you said, not difficult ones, but he really does move well. And like I said, he was also instrumental in creating the goal. So
yeah.
Here's Arazo now. Santiago Arazo will play it back now. Here is Jake Starling on the right foot. Starling. And an angling ball to the far side over the top. Too tall for Jesse Juarez. We'll have a throw here coming up for Twin Stars. As we're in the 34th minute here. Starling now will go all the way back for Garagie. Here's Solaris. Andre Solaris. Outside now, Kian Gantley. Or Oyentunji. Pierre Oyentunji, interesting story. Born in Nigeria. Grew up in England. And plays his soccer now at the University of West Alabama. In the meantime, here's Gantley. Left-footed ball, looking for Perry. Now in the overlap, it's Juarez. Juarez in the middle. Here's Florida with a shot. He scores!
Matt, really good ball in there from Kian Gantley. Finds Juarez in the back post. Juarez, I think, was cutting back. I don't know if he was looking for Perry, if he was looking for Thornton, but either way, good dynamic run from both players. And just a class finish there from Sam Thornton.
Yeah, 2 assists for Jesse Juarez today. So Sam Thornton on the goal, his second of the season. Duluth FC leads at 2-0 here as we're in the 35th minute. A couple of highlight reel goals here, Coach.
Matt, if you're Sam Morgan, I'm sure you're already thinking about this, but you've got to love a play where it goes from a fullback to a fullback and then back central. I think that's when you're showing that you're really got sort of some of your offensive puzzle pieces worked out.
So Thornton with the goal, Perry with the goal as well. And it is 2-0 Duluth FC in the lead. And right after kickoff now, they'll send it long and over the end line. We'll have a goal kicker coming up for Michael Garagie, who has a 2-goal lead now to work with. And Duluth FC, they can turn offense on very quickly, Coach. We've talked about that. A lot of weapons up top this year for the Blue-Greens, and you're seeing why here. Blake Perry with his 3rd, Thornton with his 2nd, Felipe Oliveira with 2. I mean, it's a very balanced attack here so far this season for Duluth FC, and we've also been very solid defensively. So right now they're playing very, very well here. Just their 3rd game together here for the 2022 campaign.
Matt, one of the things I was just going to mention here, a few minutes back, was I was hoping to see Solaris get involved on the ball a little bit more. And now, really over the last 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, we've seen that, where the center backs have split wide a little bit further, allowed for our CDM to sort of check back in and find space in between and get on the ball. He's a player that if he gets on the ball early in a sequence, he's going to impact the play, and you've seen it now.
Free kick here coming up. And they play it into the Blue-Greens 18 where it's smothered there by Garagie. He had Mark Boquin bearing down on him. Be interesting to see if they move Boquin now into a more central role right now. He's kind of playing a central forward role here for Coach Starbarkey and the Twin Stars. We'll see if that continues here, or if he's only been moved there for this momentary brief space of time, but we'll see how if they try to change some things up here. As here now is Thornton, the latest goal scorer for Duluth FC, to the outside. Felipe Oliveira into space now. Here's Perry. Perry on the right foot, lifts it over the top, and he just misses his 2nd of the game. Just missed the back post. Coming in weak side was Peter Oyentunji, by the way, looking for the rebound. But wow, that would have been a pretty finish as well for Blake Perry, looking for his 4th of the summer.
Trying to chip there on his weak foot, on his right foot.
Yeah, he's a left-footed player, for those of you who are not aware. But, he tried to chip that one with his right. But he can score with either foot. I've seen him do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been a highlight reel goal. And Yeah, I know he felt like he should have had one against the Crows on Saturday, and he's got one tonight here so far. We'll see if that's where he stays for the evening. As Lynch now playing it forward. Cole McSweeney couldn't handle it. Now on the right foot, Oyentunji. Oliveira, he'll take a shot, and that one will come in. And going down to make the save is going to be Kamara. One hopper coming in. Game beginning to get a little bit stretched here, Coach. Later stages first half, and that suits Duluth FC just fine. Being at 2-0 is Oliveira. Into the middle, that one now picked off. And now here's Boquin, who's been moving out to the right side. Mark Boquin now trying to split a couple of players. On the left foot. Sends it into space, and that one's too far for Eric Rosas, who was making a run up that far side.
Well, you see the mobility there from Mark Boquin. He's a very silky player.
He is very silky.
And, for him to just pick his head up and just play that ball on a rope like he did. He's a really nifty little player, and it's certainly fun to watch.
He has been a very, very solid player over the years. He's always remember him being very technically sound. Not the biggest guy, of course, but very strong on his feet and plays it into space very well and has a nice touch. Very nice player for Coach Yusuf Darbarki. Now here's Thornton. Edge of the 18, Oyentunji. In the middle now, here's Domaratsky. Goes to Domaratsky. Trying to come through. Stops it. Now here's a shot. And they score! Blake Perry on the goal. His second of the day. And it's 3-0 Duluth FC. 39th minute here from Public School Stadium.
I think Blake Perry must have heard me talking about him earlier in the game where I said maybe he took that extra touch. He definitely took that one first time. Well done from Kostya there to just stay on the ball and just stay diligent through the box there, and eventually it just kind of popped up right into Blake Perry's path, and what a finish.
That was a heck of a finish. That ball was loose. Domaratsky, I don't know if he officially gets an assist on that one since it was kind of a loose ball there, but Kostya Domaratsky definitely had a big hand in that goal.
Matt, if it's up to me, he gets an assist. Just for staying with the
Just
play.
for sticking with the play. Yeah, he was trying to get a shot away. He actually deflected off the defender. It came right to Perry, who just buried it with that strong left foot of his. And Perry now has 4 goals on the season, and Duluth FC now 3-0. And now we're going to have Solaris' foot taken out by Siddique Jabate, and we'll see if that ends up in a card. Hugo Roos coming over to have a look and a conversation here. And now Darbarki with Domaratsky, and well, we'll see what's happening here. And it's going to be, we're going to have a conversation now. Good job of refereeing here. We come over to the side and check out and see.
Yeah, man, I thought maybe the first one could have been a yellow card. It didn't look like there was a lot in it, but it did seem like he kind of swung his foot through.
It did, yeah.
Like maybe just did a little bit more than he needed to.
And we'll see.
I think this is going to be a straight red, actually.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a red card, yeah, Karim Darbarki, and that's a big blow now for Twin Stars. That's their playmaking center midfielder, and now he's having a conversation. I don't know if there will be a second yellow or maybe a yellow given to Jabate. That was the initial challenge, by the way, was by Siddique Jabate on Andreas Solaris. I don't know if that's going to get a card or not.
I don't think there's going to be a card there.
Okay.
Now, I believe it was Darbarki. He was already on a card.
He was already on a yellow card,
so,
yeah.
But it was not a second yellow card. That was a straight red.
And now he's talking to the side referee as well. And that is, I believe, Jeremy Euchre that is standing on the side.
Yeah, there was a coming together between Darbarki and Kostya there. And I saw Kostya hit the deck. I did not see any contact before it. And to be fair, my eyes were elsewhere. So I do wonder if what happened in that exchange.
I don't know if that was, like I said, all I saw was Domaratsky hit the turf. And from our vantage point this far away, it's hard sometimes to tell if there's anything that goes on in close quarters. I actually, like I said, I was maybe anticipating the yellow card for Jabate, but it didn't come. And it looks like they're just going to call that just a garden variety foul here. Coach won't have a free kick, but a lot of stuff happening here.
Well, and it looked like Jabate and Solaris had kind of figured things out after the fact. I don't think there was any malice in it. I think it was just a matter of, sometimes you feel that contact in your foot and you kind of just continue to swing through it. As for the red card, Jeremy Euchre was maybe 25 yards away from the play and had, sort of a clear view to it. So I'll be interested to hear maybe, from the officials or the coaching staff after the game to see if they maybe had a better sense of what exactly happened there.
In the meantime, we're back to live action. This is Jabate, who was involved in that last set of altercations, shall we say. Last moments of conversation. Here's Jabate now coming in as Twin Stars now playing with 10 players against 11-man Duluth FC. And now here's Perry trying to release forward. Guzman Cisse able to pick that one off, at least momentarily. And now it's Colin McSweeney, who I know is a player you're very familiar with, Coach. And he's had a very quiet first half here. I haven't seen McSweeney on the ball a lot.
I'm a big fan of Colin McSweeney, Champlain Park kid, and he's a sophomore down at St. Cloud, already a captain in his sophomore year with them. Terrific player, terrific young man, a lot of leadership qualities, and you'll see it here, I think, especially, you go down and, man, you lean on some of those leaders, right? And I would suspect that he's going to really kind of step up his play a little bit and kind of lead from the CDM position that he's in right now.
Here's Gantley now on the outside. Here's Domorotsky, Poster Domorotsky. Oyentunji now on the edge of the 18, on the right foot. Back for Domorotsky. And now we're going to have a foul called on Mark Boakman, and it'll be a free kick here coming up about 25 yards away from goal. And a little bit more posturing here, perhaps, by the two teams. We'll have a free kick coming up.
Man, I have enjoyed, just here since the sort of the altercation, it seems like both teams have kind of been spurred on a little bit. All of a sudden, the pace of play got a little bit better. There was a little bit more intention in the press, and just, the ball just seems to have a little bit more zip to it right now. And I wonder if maybe just that altercation and kind of big event maybe spurs these two teams on and just kind of play with a little bit more aggressive nature.
Duluth FC with 3 goals up on the board, looking for more here. 2 goals from Blake Perry in the 24th and 39th minutes, Sam Thornton in the 35th. Let's make it a 3-goal game as Kian Gantley standing on this one. On the right foot, here's Domorotsky into the middle, ball still loose. Sits down now, here's Arazo, and he scores! Santiago Arazo with his first goal of the season. That one coming in the 45th minute.
Yeah, Matt, it looked like there was a sort of a coming together with one of the Twin Stars players and Peter Otunji there, and Otunji kind of hit the deck, and it looked like some of the players stopped, and the ball just kind of happened right onto Arazo, and boy, he didn't mind finishing that one, did he?
No, he did not. Domorotsky taking the free kick on an angle. Arazo, and it seemed like everybody stopped playing there for a moment there, Coach. It just fell to the central defender, Arazo, and he made no mistake, put it up high. His first goal of the season.
Duluth FC, Santiago Arazo.
So 4-0 your score, and I'm not going to lie, Coach, I was not expecting this scoreline at this point in the game. No, Twin Stars' reputation as a team that has a lot of ability, some good athletes on the wings, and this game getting a lot of hand now. 3 goals in 10 minutes for Duluth FC, turning a 1-0 game into a 4-0 game here.
Matt, if you're a Duluth fan, you have to be really happy, I think, with just sort of the kind of killer instinct here from Duluth to just kind of pounce on every opportunity, to not let up at all.
Here's Thornton now as they look for more. We're in extra time here. We'll see how much is added by center referee Hugo Roos. Thornton trying to play it forward, or play it into the corner there, I think, for Blake Perry. As throw comes in now far side. This is Sadra Golzarian and across midfield. Jabate, Sadiq Jabate now trying to come across the stripe, able to get it to the feet of Golzarian. He's had to switch sides now. They moved Mark Boakman now to the right-hand side on the wing. And now they're playing down a man without Grim Darbarki for the rest of the night. It might be a straight red. I'll have to get it. Was it a straight red or second yellow?
No, he went straight to the back pocket. It was a red card.
So Darbarki with a yellow card, then a straight red card after a sequence that saw Jabate take down Andreas Solaris.
Juarez doing a better job of staying onside there. His runs have gotten better as the night's progressed.
Here's Thornton taking it in deep. Now gets it to the side, and he would have had Perry. Perry looking for the hat trick if that ball's into the 6-yard area. And Thornton on his back behind the goal, Coach. He
kind of had 2 pegs there to hit. He could have hit either Blake Perry or Otunji.
Yeah, Peter Oyentunji was there as well. As off the free kick now to the outside. This is Jafar Abdul Rahman. Across the midfield stripe now, Solaris. Back for Santiago Arazo, who has his first career goal. Congratulations to him. 2 goals from Blake Perry, and Sam Thornton with the 4th goal here for Duluth FC. Those goals coming in the 24th, 35th, 39th, and 45th minutes, Coach. And that's how you end up with a 4-0 lead here just before halftime. as we're into our second minute. Now about to enter our third minute of extra time here. We'll see how much more center referee Hugo Roos wants to add, but wow. An offensive explosion of sorts here for the Blue Greens. Ball in the space now. Here's Kian Gantley with it. Gantley on the left foot now does a nice job to get around defender. Comes into the 18. Now jukes another player. Comes in. Plays toward the back post. Here's Sam Thornton for Juarez. And it'll go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick. Some pretty in and out passing, though, by Duluth FC, especially over these last 10 minutes, Coach.
Well, really nice run there from Kian Gantley. To beat the first defender, but then to actually take it central and take it down to the goal line and beat the second defender. And then you saw the cross ball that came there. Blake Perry was striding through on the near post. You saw him actually jump out of the way to make sure that he could let that ball go through.
Here's Thornton now playing it back. Felipe Oliveira now is trying to step around. Gets through Cullen McSweeney. Out of the top of the 18, here's Thornton getting a step. Sam Thornton with a shot, and the save is made by Kamara. Ball's up in the air. And Duluth FC right now all over a team that needs to get themselves into the intermission here and try to reorganize in Minnesota Twin Stars. It's 4-0. Duluth FC could easily have a couple more up on the board right now, Coach. And with that, the final whistle is blown by center referee Hugo Roos. But boy, Duluth FC really pouring it on the last 10 minutes. They scored 4 times in the opening 45 minutes, Coach. We'll go through the scoring summary quickly here before we head into our halftime intermission. Blake Perry opening it up in the 24th minute with his third goal of the season from Sam Thornton to make it 1-0. Then it was Thornton scoring his second of the season from Jesse Juarez in the 35th to make it 2-0. In the 39th, Perry unassisted officially to make it 3-0. And then Arazo unassisted at 45 minutes to make it 4-0. And like I said, a couple more great opportunities there. Perry could have had a hat trick. Thornton nearly had his second of the game just a moment ago. And then finally, the center referee, Hugo Roos, calling to an end to the first half with the long whistle. But boy, what a last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes really for Duluth FC in that opening 45.
Yeah, Matt. So if I'm Sean Morgan going into halftime, I think the message is going to be just to keep the foot on the gas. I would suspect that not too far into the second half, we'll start to see some subs coming, keeping fresh legs and just, being smart about, trying to get out of these first 3 games injury-free, but with, 9 points out of the first 3 games. Some of the things that he talked about going into the game that he wanted to really impress on, I think Duluth has done a good job. The press has been great. We talked about sort of that high block and even high press and some of the counter press. That's led to some chances, led to some goals. The switch of play has been way better tonight. After we talked about it early on, I think that kind of right on cue, Duluth did a lot better with their switching of play. There was a lot more intention to it. It was a lot quicker. And then the runs from the forwards have just been a lot better tonight. If on the other side of it, Twin Stars, I think going into halftime here, they need to figure out how to come back out and just treat it like a 0-0 game and find some answers. I would suspect that they're going to come back out in some sort of like a 4-4-1 formation, and really, for them at this point, try to keep things scoreless as long as you can in the second half. See if you can't nip one, at least get a goal coming out of here tonight, and try to salvage something, to go back home and kind of get out of these first couple games and have something to go into the mid part of the season.
Yeah, the other big subplot in that first half, along with the 4 goals, of course, the red card for Karim Darbarki, who is usually their big playmaker for Minnesota Twin Stars, has been for several years, but he gets a red card with about 5 minutes left in the half, and that really did kind of help turn the tide as well. 4-0 your score here after 45 minutes, and with that being the case, we'll take a quick break and come back with some halftime programming, including a conversation with Duluth FC assistant coach Craig Chudley. That's coming up right after this. This is Blue Green Soccer, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.
For your heart, for your hope, for your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. for your heart, for your hope, for your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's.
And we're back on air here. The halftime score, Duluth FC 4, Twin Stars 0. We're live here with assistant coach Craig Chudley. Chuds, how are you?
We're doing good, yeah. Happy to go in 4-0 at the half. Obviously, positive in terms of result.
And in terms of some of the things that Coach Sean Morgan had talked about before the game, wanting to switch the play a little bit faster, wanting to do a better job of shifting defensively, wanting to see a little bit more dynamic play out of the forwards and even out of the midfield at times. How do you think Duluth has done here in the first half with that?
I think we started slow. In possession, we were slow to move it a little bit. Took us a while to get into the game. I think that came from them pressing, something we haven't really seen in the first two games. Dynamics front three. But after that first goal, we kind of got out of second gear and started to shift the ball a bit better from one side to the other. And we saw for that goal, fullback to fullback, both high, swinging the ball, and that's how we created the chances and the second two goals.
Yeah, I'd love to see that fullback to fullback action, right? We talked about that a bit. Going into the second half here, obviously you'll be up a man here to start things out. How does that change what you guys are thinking for the second half?
I don't think it would change too much. We still want to play quicker. Just because we're a man up, we can't afford to play slow and not move the ball quickly. The positive is we'll see some of the other guys. We'll give the other guys a chance. They're hungry. They want to start the next game, so it'll be good to see a few new faces, and they'll be hungry and ready to go.
Talk about some new faces here. We haven't seen Jake Starling really this year yet. We hadn't seen Michael Garagie in the net really. Saw him a bit in game one toward the end. What do you think of their performance this year tonight as they get their first starts of the season? Yeah,
it's always difficult, especially changing a back four and a goalkeeper. But they've looked really assured, and I'm very happy with both of their performances so far. I think Michael faced our first shot on target that we've faced this year. So he got that one out of the way, and he's done well, talking well, as he always does in practice as well. And Jake's looked assured, stepped on a lot of loose balls, and it's been really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about maybe making some earlier subs here in the second half. Is that more to try to get some, just get fresh faces on and try to get a look at guys a little bit? Is it to try to preserve players and try to keep guys fresh, injury-free, that sort of thing? Or what's kind of the line of thinking there?
It's a bit of both. I mean, you've seen it in practice. We've got a really deep squad this year. We got a lot of potential starters and players that want to start. The depth and quality is really, really good. So I think it's a bit of both.
And what's the message from the coaching staff when those guys go on? Is it to try to just keep the clean sheet and try to hold the scoreline, or is it to go on and try to get some exposure and try to earn more time in a better spot, kind of going forward? Yeah,
I've said it already. Those guys are hungry. We aren't expecting to come out and keep the score to 4-0. We're going to keep playing our way, keep playing fast, keep being ruthless, and then that's what we're going to look to try and do.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you get back down to the team here, Craig. Congrats on a good first half. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For your heart, for your hope, for your health. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future. For your passion. For your work. For your life. You are why we're investing in new technology and treatments. You're why we're committed to high-quality, compassionate care. So while you're focused on today, we're ready to care for your tomorrow. St. Luke's, for your future.
All right, man.
We are back here at Public School Stadium. Matt Johnson alongside Coach Joe Mooney. 4-0 your score, second half. Quick reminder before we get in the second half, our next home game, as you see there at the bottom of your screen, coming up on the 28th. That'll be our next broadcast here, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream team as well. 7 p.m. against Lacrosse Airs, the first of 2 meetings with Lacrosse this year. Will be on the air probably about 6:30 or so that night. So that'll be our next broadcast. Duluth FC Blue Green Soccer here. Again, courtesy of the Duluth FC Blue Green Stream team. As we get ready to begin half number 2 here. 4-0 your score. 2 goals for Blake Perry, 1 for Sam Thornton, and 1 for Santiago Arazo as well. And before we kick off here, a quick reminder, St. Luke's is proud to sponsor Duluth FC. When it comes to injury prevention, treatment, and recovery, their great orthopedics and sports medicine team has you covered. Learn more at slhduluth.com/ortho. Again, that's at slhduluth.com/ortho. So 4-0 as Twin Stars playing a man down due to the red card against Kareem Darbarki in the first half. Kickoff to begin half number 2 here. We'll see what kind of changes head coach Sean Morgan makes, and I would imagine that assistant coach Craig Chudley had a lot of good things to say at halftime, Mr. Mooney, considering it is a 4-goal lead here for Duluth FC.
Yeah, Matt, so far it looks like the same lineup coming out of halftime. Like we said, I think Twin Stars will kind of shift into sort of a 4-4-1. If they're really trying to get on the score sheet, maybe kind of a 4-2-3, keeping their wingers a little bit higher. My question will be, what does that do for a guy like Mark Boquin? It's going to take him into a more withdrawn position just to try to get on the ball. Does that take him out of the play a little bit? And then it's going to mean that the 2 center midfielders, Colin McSweety and Jafar, will have to really cover a lot of ground here in the second half and try to make up for that lost player in the midfield.
Ball in deep on the far side. It'll be a throw here coming up for Twin Stars. Twin Stars after today, they'll be next in action on the 26th, so a week from tonight, they'll be taking on Joy Athletic. That'll be an 8 p.m. game in Minnetonka High School. These 2 teams will meet again, by the way, on Wednesday, June 22nd, 7 p.m. opening kick at Spring Lake Park High School down in the Twin Cities metro area. That, I believe, is the venue that is serving as the home field this year for Minnesota Twin Stars. That was where they had their 4-2 win over Lacrosse Eris on Saturday. And speaking of Mark Boquin, there he was off that throw, coach, lost possession on it. Now it's Arazo. Santiago Arazo will play back in the middle. Here's Jake Starling, who had a very strong first half for Duluth FC. I kind of referred to him as a steady Eddie in that opening 45 minutes, and that's the best way I can describe his game. Just very solid, doesn't make very many mistakes, reads the play well. Wearing the captain's armband tonight. No Martin Grieswood this evening here for Duluth FC, so it is Jake Starling who is playing in the captain's role here tonight as Andres Solaris. Now we'll go back. Here's Starling again, and going all the way back now for Michael Garagie, who didn't have a whole lot to do in the first half, made a couple of saves. Neither one of them were particularly difficult, but good to see him get some action, the Irish goalkeeper.
Yeah, you can see Sam Thornton just leaning offside there. I think that's the right call there from Jeremy Euchre there on the near side AR.
Yeah, Thornton could have had 2 goals in that first half as well, coach. He had one that he was basically robbed by Hassan Kamara as the first half ended.
Yeah, and then he put one in the side net there.
Yeah, looking for Blake Perry, who could have had a hat trick, who was running clear and free in the 6-yard box.
But I think if you're Sean Morgan, you're probably telling your center forward there to try to take that chance, right? Try to put that one on frame. You want your center forward to have the confidence to go ahead and shoot there. But I'm sure if I'm Blake Perry at halftime, I would say, you know what, be selfish on that one and try to take it, but you also had your chance now. So the next one, pick your head up and find me so I get that hat trick.
Yeah, I'm sure they've had
just
a couple conversations. Yeah,
how that conversation went.
Here's Kian Gantley now. Gantley on the outside of the foot looking for Tunji, and coming off of his line to smother that one is Kamara, who played actually pretty well in that first half. Like I said, Duluth FC could have had 5, maybe even 6 goals in that opening half, except for a couple of really big saves by Kamara, especially in that last 15 minutes or so, coach, when the Blue Greens really put a lot of pressure on Twin Stars.
Matt, I would expect some of the subs to start coming for Duluth, probably around the 55, maybe 60-minute mark. We heard Coach Craig Chudley talk about at halftime players coming on, trying to keep them hungry,
Right, yeah.
For some of those players who are, guys that are coming into games.
Here's Thornton coming through off of a nice right-footed ball into space that time. That one coming off the right foot of Jesse Juarez, who got a step on the outside. Juarez had a couple of assists in that first half, Coach, or could have had a couple of assists anyway in that opening half.
Yeah, what I was saying, Matt, is for some of these players who are just coming into kind of role player positions at this point, for them to try to get on, and really it's going to be an opportunity for them to try to expand on their roles a little bit. So there are games like this at times where the subs get on and maybe the game actually picks up a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how these guys handle the opportunity to play in a game that's a little bit tilted and obviously lopsided in terms of numbers, beating up a man.
Here's Juarez again on the outside. Solaris for Oliveira couldn't quite corral that one with the left foot. Blake Perry with a couple of words for him in terms of the movement. And we'll have a throw now coming up. Near side. Also be interesting to see how many players Twin Stars decides to bring in this game. And as I say that, they're about to make a couple of substitutions here.
So it looks like, Matt, Mark Bolquin is coming off.
That's an interesting development. A couple of new players, like I said, coming on here.
And Eric Rosas is coming off.
So those are the two players that come out. Leonardo Davalos comes in. And we'll have now a throw in off the restart. Now a turnover. Here's Oliveira at the top of the 18. He loses it. Now here's a shot taken by Solaris, and it's about hit his teammate Sam Thornton on that one. And now we have a player down. That is Usman Cisse. And having a yellow card now awarded to him is going to be Oliveira. Maybe got his elbow up on that one, Coach. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't see. What a shot from Solaris, though. Boy, that had a lot of pepper on it. And, Sam Thornton caught all of that one. You saw him just take it and kind of wince for a second there. And,
Sam,
to be honest, I think the ball got the worst of it in both interactions there.
Yeah, well, Sam Thornton, in case you haven't noticed on your screen there, a big, strong young man. In fact, as far as physical strength goes, I don't think I've seen a forward that is as strong as he is in quite a long time physically, Coach. He's a special physical specimen for sure. You can see why he plays his soccer at the Division I level.
Well, Matt, there's a few days off in between games here, and what I'd like to see is maybe a Sam Thornton, Jake Starling arm wrestling match.
I don't know if Jake could take you up on that one. Sam might be all for it, though, just knowing Sam. That would be interesting, though, to see. Maybe we can do it for as a fundraiser or something.
There you go.
In the meantime, here's a pass now from Kostya Domorodski. That's behind the intended recipient. Oyentunji on the outside. Will be a throw here coming up for Twin Stars. As the throw comes in now, here's Sadiq Jabate. Having it taken off his foot by Domorodski. And now here's Thornton trying to touch it through the middle, looking for Oliveira. Now getting a step around a defender. Here's Blake Perry on the edge of the 18 on the left foot. Playing it through. Here's Oliveira. Oliveira into the middle. Perry and Domorodski were both there for Duluth FC, and it ends up being cleared over the near side. It'll be a blue green throw taken quickly here by Jesse Juarez.
Yeah, Matt, some of the ball movement here from Duluth FC is really starting to pick up here.
Goal kick here coming up for Hassan Kamara. It looks like the Blue Greens are about to make a couple of substitutions as well on that far side. Scott Wilson, one of the two subs. The other one being Aaron Pike across the way, I believe. As this one comes in now for Garagie.
I thought Aaron Pike had a nice night when he came on Saturday.
Yeah, he had some very good moments, I thought, against Minneapolis City.
Covers a lot of ground, Matt. He's a tenacious player, and he's a crafty player as well. Scott Wilson, will be great to see him come back on for one last time with the Blue Greens.
Last appearance for the Blue Greens before he heads out to the east to take a grad assistant role with Erie. Here's Blake Perry now on the left foot. We'll play it over now for Oyentunji. Peter Oyentunji playing it back through the middle. Nobody in a green jersey there. I think he was hoping that Perry would continue on, maybe get Sam Thornton in there as well, but
at the center back, I guess I missed the number on him, but the center back just leaned into that one, and boy, it looked like he almost kind of stuck his arm out.
Here's Perry on the left foot, getting a shot. Getting a piece of it was Kamara, and it'll be cleared over the side, but Duluth FC really goal hunting now, Coach. Up a man, of course, because of the red card, leading at 4-0. And now that's going to allow Duluth FC to make the changes here.
Looks like Arazo's coming off in the center back for Scott Wilson, and it looks
indeed.
Like Sam Thornton will come off, make way for Aaron Pike.
Yep, so Thornton and Arazo are both out. Both of them scored a goal here tonight. Pike will take up Thornton's role.
Give him a round of applause.
Scott Wilson, meanwhile, will get one more chance to play with Jake Starling. And
it looks like what they did, Matt, was they moved Peter Oetonji into the number 9 role, the center forward role, and Aaron Pike, as he came on, moved out to the left forward.
There you go. Scott Wilson, all by the way, is also wearing the captain's armband here in the second half, it appears.
Great to see that. Obviously had a nice summer with Duluth last summer.
He did indeed.
Obviously, I know Scott very well and wore the captain's armband for us the last 2 years at UW Superior. Just a terrific player and a terrific young man. Really fun to watch his leadership qualities grow over the course of the season this year as we lean on him more and more. And he really did step up to it, and just very happy for him. He's actually got a grad assistant position coming up here out at Lake Erie College or University and with the women's soccer program. So he leaves to go get started with his duties there here on Saturday.
Yeah, so congratulations to Scott.
And Matt, he'll make a terrific coach.
Oh yeah, he will. I've gotten to know Scott quite well. As here's Oliveira now on the end line, kind of keep it in play, and it'll curl out. It'll be a goal kick here coming up for Twin Stars. Good for Scott, though. I know he's wanting to get into coaching a bit, and he had 3 very, very successful years, to say the least, leading your back line. There are 4 players, or 3 current Yellow Jackets, 1 former Yellow Jacket now on this Duluth FC team. We've talked about that a couple of times here so far in the 2 games that we've done. Scott Wilson being the elder statesman of that group. Alex Paredes, a backup keeper. Not in uniform tonight, but is also on the roster. He's your starting keeper at UW Superior. Blake Perry, of course, we've talked about him many, many times for good reason.
Yeah, I will mention that Coach Chudley gave me a little bit of grief when he got off the air here at halftime, that I didn't say more about Blake Perry at halftime.
Maybe just trying to be as objective as possible here.
Sure, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that one. Yeah. That's what we'll call it. There's Coach Domorotsky now playing it back for Garagie, who will just pump it to the far side. I don't know if Michael Garagie was accepting that pass from the Ukrainian, but he dealt with it fine. Able to clear it over to the far side, and now we'll have a throw coming up here. Clock moving. 57th minute here from Public School Stadium. If you're just joining us, 4 goals up on the board for the Duluth FC. 2 courtesy of one of the Yellow Jackets we just mentioned, Blake Perry. His 3rd and 4th goals of the season. His goals coming at the 24th minute. In the 39th minute, Sam Thornton in the 35th. And then the 4th goal in the 45th minute by Santiago Arazo. And we have another yellow card that's been given out to, I'm not quite sure who that was on that far side, Coach.
One of the players on the bench, it looks like. And I guess I didn't see what happened there.
Yeah, it's one of the Twin Stars players. I'm not sure who it was. It's hard to tell when you see that the card goes up over to the bench on that far side and nobody really responds.
Right.
That's
right.
And having broadcasted soccer for many years now, that's the one that always gets you, because it's really hard to tell who gets what. And this game certainly has not lacked for cards. We've had plenty of them so far.
Yeah.
Several yellows and a red so far.
I guess I lost count, man.
Everybody's getting red or yellow cards at least tonight.
Matt, I do give Twin Stars a lot of credit, though. They have come out of the second half here and really, they could have kind of folded up, I guess, and just kind of mailed it in here for the second half, but there has been a little bit more punch to them. You see them chasing down a lot of free balls, putting pressure on. You saw Jabate there on the last play, closing down Garrity and put some pressure on him, forcing a kind of an errant kick out from him. And so it can be tough when you're down 4-0. The reality is you're probably not coming back in this game. Everything is just kind of treated as a consolation prize. So to actually have a little bit of fight to them, I do give them a lot of credit for that.
Well, and that's one of those things, too, where you just have to kind of circle the wagons. I think everybody that's played soccer one level or another has had those moments where you know that the game is probably no longer in doubt, but you just play it like a 0-0 score like you talked about at halftime. And
coming off of the Blue Greens, number 14.
That's certainly, I think, the message right now that you're seeing from Twin Stars.
Give him a round of applause.
As the Blue Greens also going man to the bench now, making his Duluth FC debut, by the way, number 21, Paul Bobai. And Keegan Chasty also in, local product. And the Nigerian-born midfielder Bobai, who, by all accounts, is going to be quite an addition to the squad as the summer rolls along as well. He had a terrific season at the college level for University of South Carolina Upstate Division I program.
Yeah, I got a lot of minutes for them and a few starts for them even.
Finished 3rd on their team in scoring, and he's one of those guys that he had a goal and 6 assists for them this season.
Matt, I know he's one of the players that you talk to everybody on the Duluth FC staff, and they've all been really kind of heavily anticipating his arrival and what he can do for this midfield.
Yeah, he's number 21 in green. You can actually see him right there now on the edge of the 18 on your screen. But yeah, he had a big year for the Spartans this year. It's just a turn on a shot and the save is going to be made.
Nice job there from Kamara not to give up the rebound. That ball skipped about 4 or 5 yards out from him, and he had already gone down into his collapsed dive there. So to not give up the rebound, actually, good play on him. And he did have forwards that were coming in and kind of sniffing there.
He did indeed. Duluth FC does that very well. They do send a lot of bodies into the 18-yard and 6-yard area. Saw that throughout the first half. They really do force keepers to make a clean save and then not give up any rebounds.
Matt, you've just got a lot of forwards up there that don't stop running and who have one thing on their mind, and that is to go score goals and make it a nightmare for anybody that comes in their way.
Here's Juarez in the middle. Here's a header right on. The save is made. Tunji put that one down. Another diving save by Kamara, and you have to say that probably Kamara's been the best player in the Twin Stars lineup here tonight. He's made several really, really good saves. Otherwise, this game could be 7-8 goals right now.
Really nice save from him, and actually a really nice job from Otunji to put that on frame with as much power as he did. That ball was actually coming over his shoulder. That can be a tough ball to finish. I got to tell you, Jesse Juarez is a player that's actually really impressed me tonight. He had that first offside. We kind of nailed him on that, didn't we?
Right, yeah.
But, man, he's really kind of growing into this game tonight. And you see another good ball there from him. He's just kind of having a lot of fun out there, it looks like, and playing very well.
Yeah, we're going to have a foul here called against Jafar Abdul-Rahman. Got his elbow up a little bit now. He's arguing with center referee Hugo Roos. There's been a lot of discussion with Twin Stars and the center referee here tonight. Some of it probably warranted, some of it probably not. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've known Hugo for a long time as a player and I've seen him as a referee, and his demeanor as a young man.
Save is made off that shot by Domorodski. Now the rebound by Tunji, and he's going to push it wide. It'll go over the end line. Left goal kick here coming up for Twin Stars. But go on, Coach.
Sorry. His demeanor as a young man, he's very non-assuming, very just kind of like gentle, soft-spoken person. His demeanor as an official is a very commanding figure, and I think it's it's fun for me to see just kind of the change take over when he gets to the center of the field like that. He's a very quality referee. I think he knows a lot about the game, and he really takes his job seriously as an official. And it's why he's done at such a young age, been able to start officiating some of these games at this level. It'll be fun to see how far he can take that officiating career.
It's interesting that you bring up how his demeanor changes when he's refereeing, because for the 4 years that I knew him when he played for you, he barely said 2 words to me. I think the most I talked to him was when he did become a referee. I had a conversation with him last year and asked him if he was enjoying it, and he said yes, he was. But for the better part of his career as a Yellow Jacket, we'll put it this way, he wasn't the guy that you would expect to have a big, long conversation with, that's for sure.
Right,
he just was kind of about his business.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the Swede in him coming out, I don't know. But and for those of you who don't know, Hugo Roos is a native of Sweden and decided to stay here, though, after his career. He lives in Twin Cities now.
Well, actually, some of the longest, most drawn-out conversations that we had, Matt. Nice shot there.
Yeah, nice shot.
Nice save.
Gabate taking that one. First really good save that Garagie's had to make here tonight. Was right at him, but he did a nice job parrying that away with both hands.
Yeah, just to get down as quickly as he did. But some of the longest conversations I had with you, he was a political science major. So we'd have some long political discussions in my office at times. And not debates or arguments or anything like that, but just, it was really fun to pick his brain. Obviously, he has a different perspective on things coming from halfway across the world, and he was really open and sharing a lot with me, and it was a pretty cool chance to learn a lot from one of my students rather than, sort of being in the coaching, teaching role.
Yeah, it is always interesting to get those Europeans, especially, like I said, they're half a world away, a lot of them. Here's Pike now taking a pass from Blake Perry. Had it tackled away from behind, and now Twin Stars trying to clear their end of the field here. Nice Lynch playing it forward. Gabate, who's been active today.
He has not slowed down at all, Matt. He's actually been, I think, very fun to watch. Covers a lot of ground. Like you said, he's really active in the press. And there have been a couple times where the ball has really been zipped into him, and he's done a great job dealing with it. He's got a really soft touch and just a very quality player.
And the rough night continues for Cullen McSweeney. He just has not really been able to get in the flow here tonight much.
We saw he broke that play up, but really there was nothing to look forward to from him.
Yeah, it's
no players kind of get into positive space.
well, and nights like that are frustrating because we've all had them as players where it just feels like the flow just isn't there. There isn't any outlet there.
Yeah.
And that's here's Bobai, by the way, taking a left-footed shot, trying to curl it in the back post, and instead he'll overhit it a little bit. But first time we've seen Paul Bobai get a look at goal there with the left foot.
Rematch results by Lynn Marie Nephew.
And a free kick now coming up here. Kamara.
Getting back to Cullen McSweeney, talking to Coach Sean Holmes on at St. Cloud State. He's been really, happy to have Cullen kind of be a part of that new program. They're only 2 years in.
Yep.
And so McSweeney has really been there from inception. And if you're going to start a program, you need players like that really are sort of mature beyond their years and just really terrific leaders. Coach Holmes had a lot of really great things to say. What a job by him, by the way, by Sean Holmes to put that program on the map as quickly as they have at the Division II level and in a good conference, a conference they've got to travel a lot with. But man, they just the marked difference that I've seen even in just the first 2 years with them is really quite remarkable.
Now they play in the GLIAC, Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. That's a Michigan-based conference for the most part, though there are a few schools also in Indiana and Ohio.
Iowa, man, Minnesota, Wisconsin. I mean, it's
become more spread
over the Midwest. Yeah,
most of the schools, like I said, in Michigan, but there is quite a bit of teams that are also spread around. It's a very wide-ranging conference, and that's where St. Cloud State now plays their men's college soccer. As we have a corner kick here coming up.
It's like a substitution, maybe. Jesse Juarez coming on.
Now Jesse Juarez is about to come off.
And Matt, again, just a shout out to Juarez on a really good night.
That's Rory Carlson that's coming in.
I have to think this is a substitution just because he's played so many minutes here already. I don't know that he's come out of the game yet.
Yeah, he played all 90 against Minneapolis City, certainly on Saturday when we saw them.
So I think just a good shout there from Coach Morgan to get his legs a little bit of rest and kind of hats off on a job well done tonight.
Yeah, going up for the head ball there and missing it wide for the Blue Greens. That was Aaron Pike, the aforementioned. Aaron Pike, who scored 7 goals this season for the University of Jamestown Jimmies. And I'm going to take every opportunity to say that nickname, Coach, because that's not what you hear very often.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Kian Gantley over here is now switched to the right side. So he's a left-footed, naturally left-footed player.
And then coming on,
Rory Carlson, who's also a left-footed player, goes to the left side then.
It's interesting that they took Juarez, who was a right back, out and brought in Rory Carlson, who is actually more of a forward/midfielder. We'll see how things change up here. Maybe playing with a couple of players to see if they can play in other positions as the game moves on here. As Carlson right now playing a left outside back position.
Well, and Matt, I think that's smart from Sean Morgan. You're in a position where you've got a comfortable lead, and so why not maybe experiment a little bit and get players into different positions. Whether it's getting Gantley over here to the right side and hurting him a little bit, or getting Rory into a maybe a withdrawn position. I think it's smart just to see, will that pay dividends later on where maybe they're not as deep or they, need to try players in a little bit different position.
Here's Domorotsky now on the outside. Overlapping run from the aforementioned Rory Carlson. Now in the middle, here's Bobai. Paul Bobai on the right foot. To the outside now. Kian Gantley lining it up. Curls it into the middle. Oyentunji. He had 3 players surrounding him. And I think that's Alex Lynch who hit the deck. We're going to have a free kick here coming up for Twin Stars.
Yeah, that was Oyentunji just going a little bit too aggressive into that challenge. He really does a good job of separating the player from the ball.
He does.
But every once in a while, that's going to lead you to getting a little bit too ambitious. That's all that foul was. And
one thing I've also noticed, Coach, he's deceptively strong. He's somewhat wiry. He's got some, we talked about him being 6'2". He's got long legs.
Yeah.
Has a good vertical leap, but for the most part, what I've noticed here so far through 2 games, he's really hard to get off the ball when it comes to him.
Matt, he's got a lot of balance. And you see, again, the way he explodes through space. It's not surprising to me at all that he has some of that strength, in his core and his upper body. Just again, watching him explode through space, there's power in him for sure.
Here's Rory Carlson now, left-footed ball in. That one cleared away. Off the right foot of Leonardo Davalos. In the meantime, now Domorotsky.
Good step there from Scott Wilson to read that play.
Jake Starling now playing more of a central back role now. Started out more of an outside back. Came in the middle now with Scott Wilson kind of playing alongside him, really. It's two central defenders right now on the left side, Rory Carlson on the right side.
This will be interesting, I think, to see Kian Gantley here out on the right. What you'll see is he'll, I suspect, continue to drive central like he just did there. And what that might do is it might, because Blake Perry's in an inverted position now on the right as well, if Blake Perry can kind of stay floating out wide like that, as Kian will drive central and look maybe to the back shoulder and see if he can't find Blake Perry kind of floating in an isolation opportunity wide to the right there.
Here is the aforementioned Blake Perry for Oyen Tunji. Keegan Chasty kind of taking up more of an outside back position as well. He and Gantley kind of flip-flopping out there a little bit. They've been kind of dropping back just a bit. But it's nice to see, like you said, kind of playing with these interchanges here, just seeing what kind of combinations you can come up with your coach, especially in a 4-0 game up on man in the 70th minute.
Yeah. I'd like to see them put the gas pedal down a little bit more here in the last 20 minutes and see if they can get one more.
Get one more, maybe
goals.
one or two more goals here. Well, certainly in a league, too, as we have DeAndre Williams now entering the game for the first time. Youngest member of this team, I think he's the youngest member. He certainly is one of them. 19-year-old, played his college soccer with the Ontario native for Casper Junior College in Casper, Wyoming. And he was a late addition to the squad this season as this one cleared over the far side. It will be a throw here coming up for Twin Stars.
Coming off, number 10, Kostya Domaratsky.
So Domaratsky is done for the day as Kostya Domaratsky. We had another solid 70-plus minutes on the field tonight.
DeAndre Williams.
As DeAndre Williams is in there. As I mentioned, number 19 in green. Came in late as well against Minneapolis City and played pretty well with the teenager. A couple of teenagers on this team, by the way, for Duluth FC this season.
Yeah, a couple of youngsters, and they've all done well, whether it be in training or in match play here.
Speaking about Williams, there he is. He's going to get called for the foul on that one. And there'll be a free kick here coming up for Twin Stars. Duluth FC, after tonight, by the way, will have 10 days off before they play again. That'll be against La Crosse Harris. That'll be our next broadcast. That'll be a Saturday right here at Public School Stadium. Hopefully we'll have beautiful weather for that one as well, just like we had against Minneapolis City. And there you go, look at on the graphic at the bottom of your screen there. 7 p.m., we'll be on with the pregame starting about 6:30 or so. For more blue-green soccer here, and if all goes according to plan here, Duluth FC will still be in first place in the NPSL North by that point. Duluth FC has the weekend off. Here's the aforementioned DeAndre Williams now to the outside looking for Rory Carlson. Passes a little bit too heavy. Touch a little bit off, so we'll have a throw here coming up for Twin Stars.
It's already the second strong overlapping run from Rory Carlson here out of the fullback position.
And here's Jabate now. Sadiqa Jabate now trying to make his way through. Nice job by Scott Wilson tracking back and able to tackle that one to the far side.
Yeah, well dealt with there from Scott. But also, quick shout to Kian Chasey, who came in the game a little while back, just to really track that play down.
Yeah, he took out Andreas Solaris and has looked pretty good in that holding midfield role. He played that role quite a bit last summer for Duluth FC.
Yeah, really, I think he can play anywhere in the midfield and be effective.
Former Denfeld Hunter, by the way, high school Hunter. He played his high school soccer right on this very field. So he couldn't be any more familiar with this particular pitch than if you basically glued him to it all year long.
Yeah, he's a great representative of local soccer here. Obviously has a kind of a soccer DNA. His dad, Barry Chasey, the head coach at St. Scholastica.
Yep. Played a year of soccer for his dad before transferring.
He did, and he was a nightmare for just about everybody else in the conference.
He was,
as a 17 or 18-year-old freshman, really just a terrific player.
Just very heady. That's the thing I noticed about Keegan last year, just watching him play the summer.
Yeah, he's a smart player, and he's got an incredible work rate as well.
He got called for that foul, and he may get a card here out of it as well, and he will. Just as we were talking about how smart a player is, he gets a yellow card, but he is a very heady player. That's he's one of those guys that just understands the sport, been around it his whole life, knows the correct play to make. Saw his dad buried in the stands earlier tonight. He was sitting, I think, over to our left over here somewhere, but yeah, Keegan, a player that very versatile, smart player, and that versatility and that ability to kind of read the game allows him, like I said, to be able to play just about any spot. He's been typically, like I said, the holding midfielder for Duluth FC during his career as a Blue-Green. Yeah, it's off the restart now. Twin Stars going forward. Oyen Tunji. That big, strong body again.
Yeah, that's strength that we talked about.
The outside, here's Aaron Pike. Pike on the right foot now into the 18. Takes it back, now gets a shot away and just misses the target. Rose high. Kamara looked like he had it pretty well judged anyway, but wow.
Yeah.
Nice play that time by Peter Oyentunji for Duluth FC. Off the restart now, Twin Stars all trying to work it on the far side. Another turnover. Here's Oyentunji. A little bit of a heavy touch that time from the Nigerian forward, and now it'll come all the way back. Ivan Adika is in there, coach. By the way, he snuck in there at some point. We had a chance to mention that. We talked about it. He's number 3 in white.
Welcome back to Duluth.
Yeah, exactly. After playing a couple of years for Duluth FC. God, that feels like a long time ago now.
Matt, was he part of the first year that Duluth FC went NPSL?
I think he might have been. I'll have to double check with owner Tim Sauce on that one. He would know.
I'm not confirming it. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to get a text message in a moment here to find out. I'd have to go back and look. But he played at least 2 years with Duluth FC, I think. Don't quote me on that again. That's just from the top of my head. But yeah, Ivan Adika, who is on the ball right now, by the way, played some college soccer for Valparaiso, as I recall. And he played for Duluth FC, I think maybe the year that they won the North Conference. You know, he might have also been on the Midwest Region title team as well. Again, I'll have to go back and look. Duluth FC historians would know better than I would, as Paul Bobai now to the outside. And that one will carry over the far side.
Yeah, he had.
But good to see him out there, even if it is, like I said, in the opposition jersey. We talked about that in the pregame, but it's nice to see Ivan back in there and playing more soccer. He's a huge Manchester United fan. For those of you who know Ivan well, it's been a rough go for him in that regard, but it was a bummer when he left. I remember being a little bit depressed that he's back, but it's good to see him still playing high-level soccer. So shout out to Ivan Adika, who is playing, like I said, on the outside at number 3 in white there as he runs up the field. Marking looks like Aaron Pike for the moment anyway.
Matt, did he play in the U.S. Open Cup game against Dakota Fusion?
I want to say that he
Remember
did.
that backup at UMD?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he played in that game.
Famously, that was a game where Ricardo Ramos scored 2 goals and then got injured in the 60th minute. We didn't see him again for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but boy, that was 60 minutes was
that 60 minutes was a real treat. Yeah,
where his quality stood. Terrific player.
Yeah, one of the more talented players to come through the Duluth FC over the years was Ricardo Ramos. I don't know how many people go that far back with the club, but boy, he was lightning in a bottle, to say the least.
Yeah.
His name of Portugal. And to his credit, even after he got injured, he stayed in Duluth the remainder of the summer. I thought he might leave, but he didn't. He stuck around and cheered on the guys. We saw him a lot in the stands.
I think he was enjoying that Duluth weather over the summer rather than going down to Texas, back to school.
Right, yeah. Although he did get the chance to experience the dreaded 40-degree swing on a change of wind direction. That was the game against St. Louis in the Open Cup. That was the second game, actually. And it went from about 85 to about 55. And you and I remember we were freezing up here because we were. And we played St. Louis FC in that game, and it was right here at Public School Stadium. And that was a very bizarre moment, I think, for all of us. That was the first time that we had seen that happen.
Matt, did they have heaters in the press box then? Because I didn't know if they did.
It didn't feel like it by the time the night was out, that's for sure. In the meantime, here's Keegan Chasey now crossing in toward the 6-yard area, headed away there by Usman Cisse. Now Cullen McSweeney trying to break out here for Twin Stars. Square ball to the far side. Twin Stars trying to get on the board here, down a man. Now here's Blake Perry off the nice tackle on the outside by Aaron Pike. Keegan Chasey now squares to the outside. Here's Kian Gantley. Gantley, nice read defensively that time by the Twin Stars. That play being made by Cedric Golzarian.
Matt, I think Duluth needs to get a bit on the same page here. A good switch of play there, but it looks like they were trying to go forward a little bit too quickly. Then after that switch, maybe just looked like they were trying to, some of the players on the mindset of let's possess the ball, some of the players on the mindset of let's try to go and, really try to press forward with it.
They are now Davalos now on the throw here for Twin Stars. They will be back in action, speaking of the Twin Stars, on Wednesday the 26th. So they'll be taking on Joy Athletic. That'll be an 8 p.m. opening kick for Minnetonka High School. Duluth FC, as you mentioned, has 10 days of off time after tonight. So hopefully the Blue Greens will be able to enjoy that time off. Unless something drastically strange happens here over the last 12 minutes, they're going to be in first place in the NPSL. Heading into the weekend here. As Gantley on the throw now, as we're in the 79th minute here now. About to reach the 80th minute. Duluth FC, in case you're just joining us, 4 goals up on the board, 2 so for Blake Perry, 1 for Sam Thornton, and 1 for Santiago Arazo. Those all coming in the opening 45 minutes. We also had a red card awarded to Karim Darbarki of Minnesota Twin Stars. Therefore, Duluth FC's been playing a man up here for the last 45 minutes or so, or at least for the last half hour or so, as that red card happened in about the 40th minute. Maybe the 45th minute, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And that was right in the middle of that stretch where Duluth FC scored 3 goals in 10 minutes. As here's Aaron Pike now on the ball over the top. Couldn't quite reach it on the head ball. And we will have a goal kick here coming up from Hassan Kamara, who has played very well in goal tonight. Can't really complain about anything that Kamara has done in goal. Couldn't have stopped any of those 4 goals, and he's made 3 or 4 really highlight reel saves in this game as well.
Well, Matt, again, credit to Twin Stars. We talked about this at halftime. I mean, really, their goal would be to come out and keep it scoreless here in the second half if they could, and try to, just kind of salvage that out of the game, and they've done that so far here through the first 35 minutes.
They have indeed. There's a nice ball into space now.
Nice turn from Kian Gantley there.
Yeah, Gantley able to pick that one off. Now he's back the other direction. Gantley now for Oyentunji. Peter Oyentunji, who's gone all the way on the 3 forward slots here for Duluth FC. Here's Keegan Chasty. Paul Bobai on it now.
Matt, one of the things I give credit to some of the Duluth forwards for, you see them checking back into space and still trying to get involved in the game. Often when the score line gets tilted like this, you'll see forwards just kind of line up at the back line. They're all trying to get on the score sheet, and they're trying to just kind of do it in as many steps or as few steps as possible. But you've actually seen, the forwards, especially from the outside, Blake Perry and Aaron Pike, track back into the midfield a little bit and try to get involved earlier on in the sequence.
By the way, Leonard Larson also in for the first time for Twin Stars. He's number 19 in white. Here's Davalos now on the right foot, playing it behind the intended recipient, that being Galzarian near side, and we'll have a throw here coming up now for Blake Perry. Be interesting to see if Perry goes all the way tonight. I don't see anybody warming up for Duluth FC on the far side, so.
Matt, I think they may have all their subs in at this point.
Could be. You're allowed to have 18 players on the actual game day roster in the NPSL, so they may have used up everybody by now.
As I'm looking here, I think the only sub that they have on the bench that was on the 18 is Brendan Daly. So
okay.
I don't think he's going to replace Blake Perry.
No, he's not. If he comes in at all, it'll be for Garagie, who Duluth FC hasn't had to force their Irish goalkeeper to make too many saves in this game. Actually, there haven't been too many saves to be made all season here so far for Duluth FC. As here's a shot now that will come through. That one off the right boot of Taya Ben Jaffer, and it'll go wide, and we will have the throw coming up. We've talked a lot about the offense, Duluth FC so far this season, the balance, 12 goals so far now through 3 games and counting. But no goals here so far. I don't want to jinx them by saying that, but the back line has really been very good here for Duluth FC is my bigger point here.
Yeah, Matt, if they can get through the next 7.5 minutes here unscathed, that's 3 clean sheets in a row then as well. And so, and I think a lot of their offensive production, it starts with just having the confidence in the back line, whether that be either goalkeeper that we've seen, the different center back pairings that we've seen, really the back line in the back 4 goalkeeper as a unit have done a really good job of keeping things scoreless, keeping a lot of play in front of them, and again, just giving the confidence to those players to stay a bit higher, to be a bit more dynamic, be a little bit more creative, knowing that they've got the structure and behind them to do that.
Well, and certainly with this Duluth FC team, by the way, of the returners that came back, and there weren't a lot of them, 4 or 5 of them. The vast majority of them were in the back line. Brendan Daly came back from last year. Talked about Scott Wilson, Martin Grieswa, who's not in the lineup tonight, Jake Starling. I mean, all 3 of those guys played serious minutes last year, so they know each other pretty well at this stage, and you can kind of tell the way that they're playing together here. Very smooth back line here for Duluth FC. These guys, this back 4-some, I guess 5-some if you count the keepers in there. These guys have played a lot of soccer together, at least most of them have, and you can really tell by the way that they play together here.
Well, man, there's no question why Sean Morgan made it such a point to bring the players you just mentioned back this summer. I have to think as he really kind of got things recruiting-wise down for the summer, I would think those players were a priority. Get them in first, sort of build from the back, and to do it with such quality players that we just talked about. And it's certainly paid off for them early on here this summer.
Definitely has. Like I said, Martin Griezwa didn't even play tonight. He was the team captain against Minneapolis City on Saturday. If you throw him, Scott Wilson, who of course will be departing on Saturday, so good luck to Scott, and Jake Starling, but that's a lot of minutes, a lot of returning minutes from last year. And then you throw Brendan Dolly into the mix as the starting keeper from last year, and you've got a very experienced back line, especially at the NPSL level here, that came back to Duluth FC this summer.
Man, the other thing, in talking to those guys that I really appreciate, just as a soccer fan and a member of the community here, is as those guys have come back, they're not just here. I mean, yeah, they want to do well over the summer here and build toward their college careers and use what they can to get out of this NPSL opportunity. However, I think they've really taken a strong interest in doing right by the community, being involved in the community here. I think they have a lot of appreciation for the club itself, and that's not always the case when you talk about some of the summer ball, right? Like, I think for a lot of guys, the big carrot is what they do with their college teams kind of the rest of the year. But for these guys to really, I think, show the gratitude that they have for the opportunity here in Duluth, and really just kind of become like full-on Duluthians here, during their time throughout the summer, just shows a lot of class on their part, and it's why I think that they, again, they were high priorities for Sean Morgan to bring back in the squad.
Well, typically Duluth FC has about 4 or 5 returners per year, which I think is a pretty good number, all things considered. Like you said, this is a league where there's a lot of moving parts. Guys are coming and going a lot of times. Several of these guys have what you would call professional aspirations as well. And, we've had several guys that have been multi-year blue-greens that have come through the program. We're talking, of course, as Keegan Chasey, another one, by the way, who's on the ball right now. Scott Wilson on this team. One guy that we didn't mention that also came back from last year, Diego Wally, who didn't see much time last year, was injured most of the year. He came back this year, hoping to get on the field as well. He plays his college soccer, by the way, alongside Aaron Pike at the University of Jamestown. But, those are the kind of relationships you want to build as well. And also some pipelines established as well. Andreas Solaris and one of those players as well, Kostya Domorotsky, who played for Christian Brothers. Of course, there were several Christian Brothers players that played for Duluth FC last summer. So there are some pipelines in these programs as well.
Well, I think that goes to show a lot of just success from the club, and it goes to show what Sean Morgan has done. That even if one of the players doesn't come back, one of his teammates comes back.
Right.
I think probably the first thing that guys talk about when they get back in August to their college programs is what their summer was like.
Right.
They've had a positive experience here. They think that they've been treated in a professional way. They've enjoyed the coach. They've enjoyed the players. They're going to send their friends to come play as well, right? So it's a nod to the Blue staff, and it's a nod to Sean Morgan and what he's done.
Well, you have to, like I said, definitely throw that into the mix, especially for a player like Peter Olatunji, who, by the way, played with Liam Condon, who played for 2 years with Duluth FC as well. And I don't think that Olatunji necessarily comes here if it isn't for Liam Condon, and certainly are happy to have him. But those are those relationships, again, that you talk about, Coach. As this ball now in the middle here is Bobai and Olatunji, by the way, that was actually Aaron Pike.
Well, Matt, I'll say, the other folks that it's a nod to, it's a nod to the host families that take these players on all summer and really give them a great treatment. And then I think, the big one, too, is this, what our media team does.
There's a ball now into the 6-yard area. It's behind the intended recipient.
You think about guys like Holden and Harry and the media team here at Duluth FC and how much they're doing on social media and the professional job they do. That goes a long way when it comes to recruiting. And guys, they come here and they want to see some exposure. Man, they do a great job.
So owner Tim Sauce has now chimed in and given us the information. We were correct. Ivan Adika played on both the North Division Championship team and also the Midwest Region Championship team. He played in the national semifinals against Miami FC. And he also played in the U.S. Open Cup for Duluth FC in both the game against Dakota Fusion in the first game and then against St. Louis, the aforementioned game where we had the 35 to 40 degree temperature swing and one switch of wind So thank you, Mr. Sauce, for the information. I thought I was remembering that correctly, but I wasn't quite sure. And
You know, Matt, it feels good to be correct every once in a while.
it doesn't happen real often, so we got
Well,
to
I'll tell you, my players get sick of me saying this one, but my wife at home, Rachel, will love this, but I tell them I don't get to be right at home ever, but if I can be right here, then just let me be right here every once in a while, right?
we take the opportunities when we get them, right?
Yeah.
And we will have now a free kick here for Twin Stars at an angle about 25, 30 yards away from Michael Garagie's goal here.
You see Aaron Pike here just creeping forward just to keep the back line honest.
But a ball comes in. Garagie makes the save. The ball is still loose, but he's able to smother it. And Leonard Larson, who came in looking for the rebound on that one. And now they'll roll it Garagie will leave it, I should say, for Jake Starling. Duluth FC now as we're into the 90th minute. About to go to 3-0 on the season, Coach. Been a pretty complete performance again, especially that opening 45 minutes. That last 10 minutes especially. 3 goals in 10 minutes for Duluth FC that turned this from a close game into a game where the Blue-Greens were in complete command. Here's Oyen Tunji, by the way, with the left foot to the outside. Now they've moved Perry back to a bit more of a midfield role here. And Duluth FC just going to try to see this out. We'll see how much time is added on by center referee Hugo Roos, or we get the final whistle on this one. But Duluth FC about to go 9 for 9 in points here. 3 games, 3 wins. And they'll be sitting pretty here for the next 10 days. Will the Blue-Greens, I think they'll be more than happy to take the 9 points here. And depending on what results came through in the NPSL North here this evening, I'm not sure how many other games were played tonight, but Duluth FC looking pretty strong, pretty sharp here so far in 2022, Coach.
Yeah, I think if you would have asked anybody, would you be happy with getting 3 points out of your first, 9 points out of your first 3 games? And obviously that's the goal, right? But I think to do it in the way that they've done it, I mean, they really haven't been put under a lot of stress up to this point in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
So it is a nod to how strong I think the squad is. I will say, just a quick shout to Sam Thornton, the job that he's done since he's been able to get activated here. You see, I wouldn't say Duluth really took the foot off their gas pedal here in the second half, but they haven't been as prolific since Thornton came off, and I do think that it just goes to show the quality that he is.
Right, here's Blake Perry now, left-footed ball. That one in the middle. Here's a header in the goal. Oyen Tunji finally gets his goal. The assist to Blake Perry. That goal coming in the 90th minute. And it's 5-0.
You see, sorry, man, I just have to laugh over here as I see Blake Perry give a thumbs up to his goal scorer and then walk over to give high fives. Safe to say those 90 minutes have put a few steps on his legs. A great finish there from Peter Olatunji. I mean, to be able to do that, you see him kind of have to twist around as that ball was flying through the air to put that on frame, to beat the goalkeeper there, and to do that this late in the game when I'm sure his legs are fatigued to that level. Yeah, really great finish there. But
I'm happy for Peter, too, because he's put in a lot of running, especially the last couple of games. He's been very impressive. He's been on the doorstep a couple different times, had a header in the first half I know he wanted to do better with off the corner kick. Had a couple of opportunities against Minneapolis City they didn't cash in on, but even if it comes in the extra time session of this game, it's I think it's a welcome goal for Oyen Tunji. His first career goal as a Blue-Green. A couple of Blue-Greens getting their first career goals tonight, him and also Santiago Arazo in the first half. So as the whistle goes, final score here 5-0 as Oyen Tunji scores just before the last whistle, Coach. 4 goals in the first half of Duluth FC, 1 in the second half. And we'll run through the scoring summary here quickly before we give our comments on the game overall as a whole. Blake Perry in the 24th minute made 1-0 off a helper from Sam Thornton to make it, like I said, a 1-goal lead for Duluth FC. They doubled the lead. 11 minutes later, Sam Thornton with his second goal of his blue-green career off an assist from Jesse Juarez. That made it 2-0. And Blake Perry unassisted in the 39th to make it 3-0. 45th minute, Santiago Arazo just before the break made it 4-0. Blake Perry's goal at 3 made it 3-0. Then it was Arazo making it 4-0 in the 45th minute. Then a red card awarded to Kareem Darbarki, the talented midfielder for Minnesota Twin Stars, put the Duluth FC up a man 11-on-10 the rest of the way. And then finally in the 90th minute plus, probably actually more like the 91st and 92nd minute, Pierre Oyen Tunji with his first career goal off an assist from Blake Perry to make it 5-0. And Coach, like I said, just want to get your final thoughts on this one. 3-0 now for Duluth FC. They've scored a total of 13 goals, have given up none. 3 straight clean sheets. Can't really ask for a much better start to the 2022 NPSL season if you're a Duluth FC fan.
Matt, yeah, I think as a coach, you're always looking for you're never going to have the perfect game, but if you can have complete games. And I think that we've seen Duluth now on every occasion come out and just play a more and more complete game as they've gone through the first 3 matches of the season here. And this one, I think, was no exception. Again, would I've liked to see them maybe just get a few more chances in the second half? Yeah. But I think it was a really professional second half. I think they played very well. They didn't give a lot of chances away. And you see right down at the very end, they're still, wanting that scoring punch, and to get one in injury time just shows, I think, that they were really kind of keeping the pressure on that way. The other thing I'll say too is again, we talked about the squad rotation and how deep this team is this year. I think this is maybe the deepest Duluth FC team that I've seen. And you see, to rotate guys through the way that they have, but to never let the level drop, and really the chemistry hasn't suffered either. Just goes to show, I think the quality that Sean Morgan has brought in, and then really in a short amount of time, just a couple weeks of training here, how much, his training or their training has paid off, and just the job that they've done there. Now they get 10 days off, like you said, to regroup and go at kind of like the middle, third of the season, or however you want to term it, I guess. And they're in really good shape to do so, aren't they?
They are really in good shape right now. Like I said, 13 goals for, none against here so far for the Blue Greens here in the 22-2 campaign. 2 goals and an assist for Blake Perry on the evening, 2 assists. Meanwhile, for Jesse Juarez in the game, a goal for Sam Thornton. Also the first goals of their blue-green careers for Peter Oyuntunji and also Santiago Razo. So pretty much a complete effort here for Duluth FC as they win it by the final score of 5-0. Up next for the Blue Greens, of course, they will take 10 days off, as we mentioned. You see it on the bottom of your screen there. They'll be back home taking on Lacrosse Aris FC. That'll be on Saturday the 28th. That'll be a 7 p.m. opening kick. Coach Mooney and I will be on the pregame, probably starting about 6:30 or so, I'm guessing, that evening. In the meantime, Duluth FC will have 10 days to savor their first 3 games and then make adjustments as they move along. Meanwhile, for Twin Stars, they are back in action on the 26th, a Wednesday, taking on Joy Athletic at 8 p.m. at Minnetonka High School. And Duluth FC, by the way, will play Twin Stars, of course, one more time. That coming up on Wednesday, June 22nd at Spring Lake Park High School. That'll be at 7 p.m. So this is just the first meeting of 2 between these 2. But like I said, Coach, not much more you can expect. 5-0. Your final score here tonight. A big thank you to everybody who watched. Big thank you also to John and Emily Law, who are our producers next door here. They did a fantastic job making sure we got all the graphics up and everything.
Matt, this broadcast is awesome. For the folks watching back at home, it's a whole other level now, isn't it?
Is.
So it's been really cool to see that, and what a professional production these folks have been able to put on for us.
So for John and Emily, and also for my color commentator, Joe Mooney, this is Matt Johnson. One more time, repeating the final score. Duluth FC wins it by the final score of 5-0. We'll talk to you guys in 10 days. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Blue Green Soccer, courtesy of the Blue Green Stream Team.